This.
Dancing like a dog. Hello, and welcome to Futon Talks, the podcast where we take a look back at the things we missed and try to gain a second impression of them. Maybe gain a new appreciation. My name is Josh Castro, one of your co-hosts, and I'm joined by my other co-host,
Christopher Midling.
Thanks, Chris, for joining me today and every day.
Of course, thanks for having me.
Yes, sirree. Now,
You're in my house, so.
Well, yeah, I'm joining you, really, on the futon where we're talking. And usually this podcast is going to be a little bit more about, a specific game or movie or piece of media that we missed. Today, we're going to try to mix things up a bit. This is our first episode that most people will be listening to, and so we want you guys to kind of gain a little bit of a flavor, take a little bit of a taste of who we are. And we wanted to do that by taking a look back at the games that kind of made us who we are. We'll probably do a couple of these. This first one is going to be about our childhoods. So pretty much from, late 90s to 2010.
Yep.
Around there. So we've tried to prepare independently of one another. Try to keep it so we're surprised by each other and stuff. So I'm excited to get this started. I don't know where the heck you're going to start with. I think you played games earlier than I did, so you probably have earlier memories.
Probably.
In fact, question, before we even get started. When is your earliest memory from?
Are
you one of those freaks? That I'm not going to let you know what I mean by that.
Okay.
Until you reveal if you're a freak or not.
My earliest memory had to have been 3 or 4.
You're a freak.
Thanks. I think one of the earliest ones is playing Wind Waker on the GameCube when it released.
Wow.
My brother's friend Rudy came over and he owned it, so we played it on our GameCube. It's either that or maybe Crazy Taxi on the Dreamcast.
Ooh, do you know what year Crazy Taxi came out?
I do not. 99?
Something
2000?
like that. It was old.
Very old.
Because Wind Waker's on my list. It's one of the games I want to talk about, and it came out in 2003.
Oh, okay.
So that was pretty early, because you were born in 98, correct?
Yeah.
We're dating ourselves. You were born in 98, so you were 5. Somewhere around there. Ooh. So yeah, you have early memories. I don't think I have a memory till I was around 6 or 7, honestly.
Okay. I think that's an appropriate age.
Thank you. I'm glad you approve, because I don't approve of your 3-year-old memories. I don't think those are real. I think that those were implanted by your brothers and sisters.
I remember smashing the B button in Wind Waker.
Smashing that B button. Just like y'all need to smash that like button and subscribe. But, yes, smashing the B button. Okay, interesting. Well, I don't have those memories. Well, I guess, would you like to start with Wind Waker, or what's your first game on your list of your first gaming memory? Because it's got to be, what age were you, I guess, in your first memory, now that I'm...
So, how I have this set up, kind of, because I could talk about the earliest games that I played, but the memories are not as vivid or important, because I played Wind Waker with my brothers, watching them pretty much and taking turns with them when they would let me. So I maybe killed a couple goblins, those pig monsters, wherever they are. I maybe picked up a few pigs and threw them into fire or into the ocean.
As one does.
Yeah. Sometimes I would just
kobolds or are they goblins?
Are they what?
Are they kobolds, like in D&D?
I have no idea.
Or are they goblins? Or
I
they
was
have
5.
some weird name. Couldn't you read?
No.
I actually have a weird story about not being able to read in video games. but anyways, continue. Okay. Excuse me, I'm interrupting you.
Sometimes I think I would pop in Wind Waker just to sail the ship around.
And smash that B button.
I think that was how you swung the sword.
No, you're right, yeah.
But my first real game that I can think of playing was Super Smash Bros. Melee.
Ooh.
That was like the first important game that I played, I think.
Interesting.
Only because I think Smash is the only game that has followed me through the years and has been the glue that keeps all the brothers together.
Oh, interesting.
So,
like a family link.
Yeah, it's like every time I go to my sister's house or to my brother's house, we're playing Smash.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it be Melee, Brawl, or the Ultimate, which is what we're playing now on the Switch.
Mm-hmm.
So I can just remember every single gathering playing Smash. And I don't know, like all of the brothers are really different. Like I play certain games that they don't play. They usually stick to Final Fantasy online games, like Final Fantasy 11 for some reason.
Why?
Austin would play Maple Story.
Oh, Austin.
And then Aaron and Jason would play Final Fantasy 11 together. But Smash was the only game that kept us together. And then like when my sister married her husband, Dusty, he was pretty much my brother immediately because they started dating when I was born. And so every time we go to their house for Christmas, Thanksgiving, whatever, we're playing Smash together. And it's just it's cool. I'm 22 now, and they have their first son, Ronan, who's 3 or 4 now. And just this last Christmas, we were playing Smash together with him.
Too bad he won't remember it.
Too bad he won't. Maybe he will.
Maybe he's a freak like you.
He was doing pretty good. He liked playing as Yoshi.
Oh, interesting. What an interesting choice.
Yeah, or he liked a Meta Knight also.
Oh, he's one of those.
He's one of those kids.
We're not going to talk about Ronan. We don't want to offend his parents, so we're not going to talk about him.
We picked on him. We made sure that he didn't win.
You can't let him win, especially not if he's playing as Meta Knight.
Right?
What a little
loser.
Darn it, man.
I hope he listens to this in like 5 years.
I sure hope so.
But it's like, it's not really important to me personally I'm not looking at it as like one of the best games ever, but it's just something that's followed me through the years that started at a really young age. And I think we're going to be playing that game for generations to come through my family. You know?
Yeah.
Like, I can't wait to have kids and have them play with Ronan and Dusty and all my brothers and stuff.
I'm going to have kids just so they can play with Ronan and Dusty.
Yeah. Not my kids, though.
Not yours. I don't want to play with your kids because they'd probably play as Meta Knight.
Do you have any memories from Smash?
Dude, we were just talking before we started this about how we didn't know how long this podcast would go. And we thought, oh, it could go for an hour, it could go for 2 hours, somewhere in there. But I always forget that the second we start talking, especially about stuff from the past, it just resurrects memories that I had completely forgotten. I didn't even put Smash anywhere near my list.
Really?
No, but I remembered that I have tons of memories of Smash. So this will be a common theme as I talk, but my parents often didn't let me have video games. And so pretty much, well, that's not true because obviously I have a lot of memories of playing video games, but I would say that for the majority of my childhood, I didn't have anything other than a handheld.
Mm-hmm.
But I do remember having certain friends where I remember much less about who the friend is and what they liked and like who they were as a person.
Yeah.
I just remember them as they were the GameCube friend, which sounds so bad.
I understand that. I still remember their names.
I remember his name. His name is Evan Solomon.
Okay.
And he'll never listen to this, so I don't care. He was a nice guy.
Yeah.
But his mother was like a anesthesiologist,
mm-hmm.
and that's important because they had a lot of disposable income.
Those are the best friends to have.
They are the best friends to have. They had like a pool table in the basement, and his mom always made me chicken. No, okay, not chicken. But they were chicken. I hope they were chicken. But dinosaur-shaped chicken nuggets.
This in Okinawa?
This was in DC,
Okay.
and so there were lots of people around.
I was going to
us
say if
that-
it was in Okinawa, it was not chicken.
No, if it was in Okinawa, you don't know what it was. Could have been a snake, a habu. But this kid, he was a good friend of mine, and his mom would always make me the dino nuggets, so we were very good friends.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember he had Melee, and it changed my life. I loved Melee. Had a crush on Marth. Still don't know whether he/she is a boy or girl. I've been confused ever since. But I remember that because of playing Melee with him,
Yeah.
I engaged in a never-ending search for video games. But the thing is, like I said, we didn't have a system.
Mm-hmm.
So I would get onto whatever computer my family had, and I'd download emulators from really fishy websites. And I would play whatever I could, but they didn't have an emulator for the GameCube available at that time.
Sure.
And all they had was one for the N64. So I played the original Smash
Oh, okay.
alone
Oh.
all the time. And so those are my memories that come to mind immediately when
Yeah.
you say that. And then there's also memories with Brawl, where I would play it a lot alone.
Me too.
So yeah, those are the memories that came to my mind. I forgot completely about all of it.
I used to just go with every character and just play the story to fight the hand.
Yep, same Master Hand, man.
Yeah. That's all I did.
I would play against like level 9 CPUs,
Mm-hmm.
and I thought I was a god.
Right.
I thought I was the best Smash player ever. I don't think I played against another person that knew how to play Smash until I was like 16.
Until you were playing with like Patrick, right? On
Yeah.
Brawl.
Yeah, with you and Patrick. And granted, I think you guys were about my skill level,
Yeah.
where none of us were very good because we always played alone. But I remember playing with someone who was actually good in college,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, I'm like a toddler. Like, I'm so bad at Smash.
Yeah.
And now, I don't play Smash because of it. It scarred me.
Jeez, wow.
My own weakness made me disgusted with who I am. And so now I don't play Smash.
Who did you main?
Oh, man. Okay, so when it was Melee, I liked Marth.
Okay.
Because he/she was attractive
Mm-hmm.
in a weird way. I don't want to talk about that.
Okay.
I'm very...
Let's move on.
It's a hard subject for me. No,
How about Brawl?
Brawl was definitely Ike.
Okay.
I liked him. Slow, lumbering, but you had to have good timing.
Yes.
That and Pikachu, which is the opposite, so I don't know what I was doing.
Uh-huh.
What about you?
Back in Melee, I was young Link.
Ooh,
All
I
the
liked
time.
I liked Toon Link in Brawl.
Yeah, Toon Link was
The same.
cool.
But-
I mean, he
but
was
I liked him.
basically the same. There's some differences that really bugged me with Toon Link. And I'm so happy they brought him back in Ultimate.
Ooh,
But I think I was basing my taste level with the characters off my brothers. So when Austin would play, he was always young Link, and his friend Rudy was always young Link.
oh,
So I would just come in and play young Link, because I feel like if you are fighting against two other young Links, you can't be anyone else, really.
they're too quick.
They're too quick, and they both have the downward thrusts and whatever it's called.
Downward thrust. It's when you press down and mash that B button.
But as I grew up and kind of found my own characters I like to main,
Mm-hmm.
I'm a big Pac-Man guy,
Oh,
and King DDD,
Namco Bandai.
and as of recently, Richter.
Oh, look at you, little Castlevania fan.
Yeah, so those were my boys.
That's cool. I really haven't played Ultimate. You and I need to play Ultimate, and you need to teach me how to be a man.
Yes.
Overcome my insecurities.
You have a regular Switch, right?
We do. Well, my wife has a Switch,
Okay.
and that's an important distinction. I don't think Animal Crossing has left that Switch since we bought it.
That's okay.
So, but I'll have to get Smash so I can
We can
reclaim
play
my
together.
manhood.
Yes.
Yes.
And that's my first game.
Oh, I liked it. That was good. Do you have any fast ones for me?
That was the only one I had for Smash.
That was a very fast one.
Smash is a very shallow game story-wise.
You hear that, Nintendo? Your game is shallow. That's why there's 8 iterations of it.
Okay, how about this? Pikachu or Pichu?
Oh, Pikachu. What was that?
Sorry. Mario or Luigi?
Mario.
What?
Screw Luigi.
Luigi's way better in Smash.
Oh, I hate Luigi. A
I don't
floaty
believe
little
you.
green loser. He probably eats linguine.
Pokemon trainer or anybody else?
Anybody else.
Okay, Kirby or Jigglypuff?
Jigglypuff. Jigglypuff.
Is that your answer?
I like that she can make everyone fall asleep.
I hate that character.
Exactly, because it makes you fall asleep.
Bowser or Donkey Kong?
DK, bro. All day.
Okay.
DK all day.
What's your favorite map?
My favorite map?
It can only be one.
Okay, let me tell you. I liked the maps that were insane back in the day. But I don't think I've ever played with anyone that let me play on anything other than like the final stage. Or
Final
like,
Destination?
And I hate it because no one will let me play on anything else because they think it's the freaking Evo tournament in their bedroom. So like, there can't be any items. There can't be any anything.
That's exactly how I play.
It must be stocks only, no platforms. It's just like, it's a game, come on. But no, my favorite stage is Pat's Gay Box. Do you remember that?
I do. Was it just a box with one opening?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Pat's Gay Box. What a time.
That was a good.
It's still on my Wii.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, that was awesome. It was a custom stage that we made.
Okay. Yeah.
And Pat was there. He was my
Mhm.
cousin, and we were messing around.
Nice.
It was a good time, man.
That was a good time. With Ultimate, I bet you could do it in Brawl. I don't remember. But when you pick the stage, you can also choose the music from a library
Really?
of songs
That's
from
cool.
those games. So I now pick Dr. Wily's stage
From Mega Man.
from Mega Man's 2 medley. And then they added Joker, so Persona 5's music's in it.
No way. They added Joker to the game?
Yeah, they added Joker.
What?
Not DC Joker, Persona Joker.
Yeah, no, Persona Joker. I'm a weeboo.
Yes.
I am an otaku. I'm neither of those things.
And then Sonic is only good because you can listen to Sonic music now.
Yeah. It's not like there was ever anything good about those games other than the music.
Yep.
Sorry, all you Sega fans.
All
3 of you.
But that's it for Smash. What's your first game on your list?
Dang, man. That was good.
Thank you.
Again, I completely forgot about Smash.
There's a lot of games I think we both forgot that we're going to dig up from our cranium.
And I'm really curious if this game is anywhere in your cranium. Because we've talked about this game, like, in a contemporary way. Where I actually used to like this game relatively recently.
Mm-hmm.
Or this franchise, I suppose. And I haven't played it for a long time now. But the game I'd like to talk about, the game that holds the award, the honor of my first video game memory is
Okay.
Pokemon Blue.
Okay.
Now, have you ever played any of the Pokemon games?
I have played Blue.
Oh,
I have played Red.
look at you. The same game twice.
I have played Pokemon Go.
Oh, no.
And
This is going to be even better. though.
most importantly, I've played Pokemon Coliseum and Coliseum XD.
Which was legit.
Those are the
I
best
loved
Pokemon
Pokemon
games.
Coliseum. Those were GameCube exclusive, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah.
The character model for Coliseum was one of the coolest characters.
Dude, it was awesome.
Like, as a kid, I wanted to be him. I wanted his jacket and his gloves.
I felt that way about the character model for Pokemon Emerald. Dude, I loved him. His white hair. I think every character I could design from then until I was like 13
Had to have white hair.
had to have white hair
I agree.
because I had to be him. And I'm pretty sure Coliseum had a white-haired guy too, right?
Yeah, he had like white spiky hair. And
Yeah.
he had this really cool blue and red jacket.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
It might have been like the same guy.
he was legit.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
That my Jewish friend,
Yeah.
the one who had a lot of money, he also had Pokemon Coliseum. That was another game. It was like Melee, Pokemon Coliseum. His family was super nice. Shout out to
He sounds
the
really
Solomons.
nice.
He was a nice guy. I do remember you, I swear. I didn't just use you for your games. But yeah, Pokemon Blue is from a lot earlier in my life. And you said you played this one.
Yes.
When do you remember playing it? Did you like finish it?
No.
Oh gosh.
I think I was playing it. I was like, this is boring.
Oh no, man.
I like. People call it baby's first RPG.
Definitely. Definitely. That's
it
the
is
correct
pretty
statement.
much what it is. But After, I don't know, I played Coliseum first.
Really? That's wild. When did Coliseum come out? I'll look it up for you while you talk about it.
I don't know when Coliseum came out. Probably 2005 or... No, probably earlier than that.
It had to have come out before Wind Waker.
2003 or 2, maybe. I don't know, when I was, like, bored with Coliseum, I would, like, find my brother's Game Boy and be like, oh, what's this? You know?
What's
and
this
he would,
thing?
What's this stupid thing?
Something you carry with you? It's for babies.
And so, yeah, I played a little bit of Pokemon Blue and...
Thought it was ugly?
It was ugly. Like, the screen was too faded. So, like, I couldn't see half the time. There's no backlight. I forgot which Game Boy that was.
That was probably the Game Boy Advance.
I think, yeah, it was the Advance.
Before the SP, the clamshell.
Yeah, it was the Advance. And I could barely see it half the time.
Yes.
So, it was just something I didn't feel like playing.
Well, let me tell you. I think the reason you didn't get into Pokemon Blue...
Yeah.
...is because you could read it and understand.
Oh.
That was the problem. There's not enough mystery. So when I first played Pokemon Blue, I must have been 4 or 5.
Mm-hmm.
And my sister was 7. We had to be even younger than that. Maybe I'm a freak. I must have been 3. And my sister then would have been 5 or 6. And my family was in the military. My dad was. And so because of that, we ended up traveling all the time. And we'd move every 3 years, and a lot of that time was spent overseas. I lived in Okinawa, Japan for like 7 years of my life, but it was 2 separate tours. So once when I was, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah.
And then another time when I was, 12 through 16, 12 through 15. And when we were there the first time, I believe we were traveling to visit home or something. And we had these crazy long flights. I mean, these flights would be 22, 23 hours long to get from Okinawa back to Utah or California, where we would spend time with extended family for the holidays. Anyways, we were awful, as all children are, on like 23-hour flights and traveling. And so my mom, when we were in Tokyo, leaving to fly back to the States, she bought us a Game Boy Advance and Pokemon Blue. But neither of us could read.
Because it was in Japanese?
It was in English. I was 3.
Oh.
Which didn't help. So I just couldn't read it. And I think my sister couldn't read. I was 6. When do you start reading?
I think you start reading pretty early on, dude.
Maybe she's retarded. I don't know. She's not going to listen to this. Liv, you're very smart if you listen to this. But she couldn't read it. So maybe we were even younger. I don't know. But we couldn't read it.
Mm-hmm.
So we had no idea what was going on. We were just like walking around, going through grass, meeting people. And I also remember that my parents were very anti-video game at this point.
Sure.
So we like played it for the flight and like the car ride. But once we got to California or wherever we were going, we were not allowed to play it again.
What?
I know. So the video games became something we could only do while we were traveling. So I don't know what happens in Pokemon Blue because I never finished it because it was taken away from me. And I also couldn't read.
That's nice. That's a
great
fun
memory. Great memory. So that was my experience with that. But
thanks, Mom and Dad.
Yeah, thanks, Jamie and Derek. My parents eventually warmed to video games to the point where they didn't take them away when we weren't on vacation, which doesn't mean much.
That's nice of them.
Very kind. But I have a couple fast ones for you.
Give them to me, Josh.
They're Pokemon in general. They're not super specific to Pokemon Blue.
Okay.
Since neither of us could speak to it, since
here we go.
Neither of us finished it. They're quick. Red or blue?
Blue.
Easy. Charmander, Bulbasaur, or Squirtle?
Squirtle.
Character name. As in, what did you name your character? Or what would you name your character?
Probably back then I wasn't creative enough, so it would just be my name.
Chris.
I
think I named mine Poop.
Poop. Oh, one that I did do was Mr. Sexy all the time.
Ooh, hello. Which Pokemon would you like, Mr. Sexy? Squirtle. Because I remember you could like make them say things by making your name something. It was just dumb.
Yeah.
But and if you were a Pokemon, which would you be?
Oh. I don't know.
What type would you be first of all? I feel like you'd be a fire type.
Probably just because of my red hair.
I feel like you might be a Growlithe.
The thing is, I don't know what that is.
Oh, there's some great questions you're gonna have later then.
What Pikachu? What Pikachu?
Which Pikachu is that?
Which Pokemon do you think I am?
I think you're a Growlithe.
Okay.
Or maybe you'd be the second evolution of a Growlithe, which no one remembers. Or does it just go straight to Arcanine? You don't know what that is.
I don't know.
It's a fire dog, pretty much.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
He's a cutie pie.
Yeah, that would be me.
What would I be, Chris? With your limited knowledge of 4 Pokemon, which would I be?
I think you'd be a grass type.
I don't know whether I should feel hurt or not. When I think of grass types, I think of like mold. Or like an oddish. It's like a freaking seed.
What's that, leafy? I think you'd be leafy.
We're just gonna make up a new Pokemon for me. I would be Leafy. I like that. And I guess, this goes perfectly into the next one. If you were to design a Pokemon, what would it be? But now you just have to design me as a Pokemon. So I'd be called Leafy.
I could see you being like a Primantis.
Wow. What? Like a Scyther?
Yeah, sure. That sounds good.
I am Scyther. Oh my gosh. That's beautiful. Thank you, Chris.
You're welcome.
Well,
Josh.
that's all I have to say about Pokemon Blue. We're going to revisit Pokemon because I want to talk about Emerald. That was a really big game for me. But what's the next game you have on your list?
The next big game for me is Resident Evil 4. And this is one of my favorite games of all time, objectively.
Ooh.
And I think it's one of the best.
I want to know.
Yeah.
How many times have you bought Resident Evil 4?
Okay, so here we go. GameCube. I didn't buy it, but I owned it on GameCube.
Mm-hmm.
PS2, PS3, PS4, iOS.
PS5. iOS?
I got it on my phone. Switch, Wii.
Oh my gosh.
And soon to be PS5 when the remaster comes out. So it will be 8 consoles.
That's insane.
Right?
Wow. That's wild.
I hear how many times I beat it.
Oh man.
So when I owned it on GameCube, I beat that game 28 times.
No, you did not.
I did. There's a counter. Every time you beat the game, there's a counter. And dude, this is like one of the only games I played.
You mained this game.
I mained this game. Oh my God. And then I think I beat it 16 times on PS2, twice on PS3, and then, once on iOS, once on Switch.
And then once every other time, pretty much?
Yeah, like once every other time. I just wanted to play it again. And this game is probably one of the first games that made me feel something emotionally.
Did it make you feel
like afraid?
Mm-hmm. Naked and afraid.
Probably one of the first times I felt melancholy in a game.
Interesting.
And it's one of those games where some of the music is the first music that comes to mind where it's nostalgic.
Oh,
it's the first feeling of nostalgia I have, I think.
That's probably how I feel about Pokemon music.
Probably, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather blow my brains out than listen to Pokemon music.
You took one of my questions, darn it.
So I'll just talk about like how I stumbled upon this game, this very famous game.
Yes, one of the most famous games of all time.
Which
I've never played, so I mean,
perfect.
Evidently, people have to stumble upon it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Maybe one day we'll see what you missed.
Get a second impression.
It'll be like my 50th impression of the game.
Are you one of those guys? Sorry to interrupt you because I know you've got a lot to say about it. But I know guys who have played, for example, like Doom so many times that they can close their eyes and describe where everything is, what you do, how long you do it, where to go, what the room looks like, and like, one by one by one.
I feel like I could do that if you gave me time.
If I give you time.
I could probably do the first area.
That's insane.
Immediately.
Do you think you could do it now?
I don't want to be called out. But
ooh.
What do you know?
I mean,
I don't want to.
You won't be called out by me. Spoiled.
Yeah.
We'll save it. We'll save it for when we do an episode on it.
Yeah, sure.
Because we will definitely end up doing an episode.
I'll tell you right now, in my head, I do see, like, at least up until the first boss.
Ooh, that's impressive, man. I don't think I could do that with any game on this list. I can do it
the same, like, certain areas of each, because this game is split up in 3 areas, and I can probably do half of each area.
That's good.
Maybe a quarter in the last area.
Okay.
So when we lived in Los Molinos, like I said, my brother had a friend named Rudy, who he introduced us to, or at least introduced me to Wind Waker. I played Smash with him in Austin, and then he left a copy of Resident Evil 4 for GameCube at our house one day. And I don't think he ever got that back.
Dang. You guys just stole it from him?
I mean, he just never took it back.
That's one way to say it.
And I never gave it back. And I remember it was the first game for GameCube, at least, that I saw. It was 2 discs.
Oh, was it really?
It was.
That's cool.
Right?
So much game.
So much game. And I always liked it was inverted for each disc, so it'd be a black background with clear text, and then clear background with black text.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. And I remember being so confused playing it and seeing a stopping, like my screen would go black and it would say insert disc 2. And that was like the only time I really was able to experience that, because the only other games that really do that are JRPGs on like PS1.
Like famously Final Fantasy 7.
Yeah,
like
or
5 discs.
Tales of Destiny had it, but like there's no way I'm going to get through a disc of Tales of Destiny on PS1.
If you can't get through Pokemon Blue, you ain't getting through Tales of Destiny.
So I guess he just left it, and I was just playing it over and over again. I remember the first like maybe 5 times there was certain parts where I was just too scared to play it, but I loved it. It was also probably one of the first rated M games I played.
You naughty boy.
Sound like Nazi. But I don't know what it is. Like, I appreciate it for different reasons back when I was a kid than I do now. Like, right now I appreciate the campiness of it. I appreciate the simplicity of it. And I appreciate the colors.
Ooh.
It uses a lot of browns and grays that just make me think of autumn, which is like my favorite season. So like every time I see clouds and rain, I think of Resident Evil 4. You know,
that's interesting.
It's like certain smells too. Like when I smell a campfire, I think of Resident Evil 4.
I definitely have memories like that.
Yeah.
You don't want to know what my most distinct like flavor memory association is with a game?
What you got?
I think you already know, but I'll tell you.
Tell me.
It is the existential and emotional guilt and pain of Spec Ops: The Line, which I associate with birthday
Oreos?
cake Oreos.
I can't wait to talk about that for the teen episode.
Yep,
because that will be one of them.
That will definitely be one of them.
But this game does so many things right that the games previously didn't do, and the games after it couldn't do.
Ooh.
And
it really is in a sweet spot. That's because even as a person who has honestly never played a Resident Evil game, I'm not a fan of Resident Evil, but even as an outsider, I can tell easily that Resident Evil 4 is really nothing like 5, 6, or like 3 or 2. As the real mainline games, right?
Yeah.
It's really something different completely. At least that's my impression.
No, absolutely. And it's that first game that I feel like has that campiness to it, that charm that a lot of the other games don't have.
I feel like the other ones are over the top, but not in a way that just doesn't land in the same way.
So
maybe I'm wrong. Like I said, I haven't played them. I've just seen them.
It's hard to say. I think 1 through 3 are they're just different. They're just different games completely.
I think so. Yeah.
I don't think you can really compare the first trilogy to 4. And you can't, like, I think you can compare 4 to 5 and 6, but then again, you can't, because 5 turns into a co-op game that has more action, and then 6 is just all over the place.
Yeah.
But 4 is that perfect survival horror.
Mm-hmm.
You have to organize what you got in, like, your briefcases or whatever. Like, one of my favorite things to do in Resident Evil 4 is to make it perfectly organized in my briefcase, like where the guns are, where all my ammo is kept together, all my herbs are like from left to right, powerful to weak.
Ooh.
And like from color oriented and whatnot. And man, this game is just a really important game, and it definitely put me on a path of certain tastes and certain things that later on I will just do in games, like organizing stuff, looking for ammo, conserving ammo, going for the knife kills when I could, which is really hard to do in Resident Evil 4.
No, this game, like I said, even as an outsider of this series, I always see this game in you, in like the games you like, the way you play games. It's like echoed throughout your life in an interesting way. And we're definitely going to, I mean, we could talk about Resident Evil 4 for at least a whole episode, and I'm sure we will.
Yeah, one day.
Do you have any fast ones for me?
I do have some fast ones.
Or is there anything else you'd like to say about it? Or would you like to save it for a full episode?
I will say a couple things that are things that just come out that like bounce to me immediately. Is the music is what brings me back to it. Not so much the gameplay. It's just the sounds of the game. The merchant is probably one of the most iconic characters in video games to me, and probably to most people. He has the black cloak with the purple scarf, or I think it's like a purple scarf or whatever. And how he always is like, "Hello, stranger." He's just iconic. And the save room music in Resident Evil 4 is my favorite. I could be in that typewriter menu and just sit there for hours and listen to it.
Just listening.
Yeah. But fast ones I do have for you. So the game is split up into 3 areas.
Okay.
Do you know what they are?
Let me try to guess.
Yeah, guess for me.
Forest.
No.
Village.
Yes.
Palace.
No.
Castle.
Yes.
That's what I thought. Yeah, that's what I mean. What's the first area called?
So the first is the village.
Is the first the village? What's the second?
Is the castle.
What the heck? What's the third?
The third is the island.
Whatever.
And the island is terrifying.
Dang. Sounds terrifying.
Village, castle, or island?
I don't want to go to the island after what you just said. So I would say the castle, because it's the wonkiest. Like there's the little Napoleon in there. I know that much.
Salazar.
Little
Napoleon. Yes. Okay.
That's what I would say.
Okay. I'd probably pick village.
Ooh.
Because it's probably the most nostalgic for me.
I would say that's the most iconic one.
Yeah.
From what I've seen as an outsider, again.
Yeah, probably village or island for me. Oh. Island has one of the most terrifying enemies I've ever come across in video games.
What is it?
It's called the Regenerator.
Oh,
and he's that gray guy who's breathing heavily. You can hear him breathing before you see him, and you can't kill him really. Like you can blow his limbs off, but they will regenerate. Obviously,
hence the name. Is it like in Resident Evil 2 and 3?
No,
they have regenerating enemies.
You will be able to kill them after a certain amount of bullets, just because it has to die.
Oh, yeah.
But you get an infrared scope that lets you see their pressure points, and you can kill them by like shooting 3 of them, I think.
But the Regenerator in Resident Evil 4, is it kind of like a Mr. X style, always following you, can't die enemy?
Resident Evil 4?
Oh, sorry, a Resident. But you know how Mr. X is in Resident Evil 2?
Mm-hmm.
Is it like Resident Evil 4's version of that in a way?
No, not really. Because that's a whole different thing. That's like the Nemesis program,
Yeah.
where they're like super mutants targeted at killing stars.
Yeah.
So there's Mr. X and Nemesis. And I believe there's one more that's
Stars.
Yeah, exactly. Regenerators is this whole other thing that is from the Las Plagas.
Ah, Las Plagas.
Yes.
For those who don't know, that means the plague.
What?
Yeah, we got a Spanish.
What does Los Illuminados mean?
You don't want to know.
Okay. Infinite Launcher or Chicago Typewriter?
Chicago Typewriter.
Okay.
I like the security that comes with that.
Yeah. It's a good gun.
It's a gun? I thought it was just the typewriter you save at.
Okay. So the Infinite Launcher is the Infinite Rocket Launcher you get. I
Is
forgot.
that what it... Well, that makes sense.
Yes. And then the Chicago Typewriter is the Infinite Ammo Tommy gun that you get.
That's a little bit less straightforward.
Sorry.
I understand, though.
Do you change your answer?
No.
Okay, Chicago Typewriter.
I like that. I like the Chicago Typewriter.
Okay. Ashley Graham or Ada Wong? So Ashley's the president's daughter.
I know who they are.
Yeah.
I'm a gamer, Chris.
Okay.
Calm down. Ada Wong.
Okay.
Because she's not,
a minor.
Annoying. Or a minor. That would help as well.
I don't think Ashley's a minor, but she's too young for Leon, who's like 35 in this game.
Leon!
Don't worry, Ashley. I'm coming for you. Helicopter escape or jet ski?
Jet ski, baby.
Okay.
Easy.
I like that. I think that's where I'm going to end on that one. We'll save the rest for maybe one day doing
the real deal.
The real deal.
I like that. That was awesome. Thank you.
No, thank you.
I love hearing you talk about Resident Evil 4 because it's something I just did not experience, especially as a kid.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about kind of quote unquote angsty teenager like dark games.
Those games.
Which I know Resident Evil 4 isn't one of those, but it kind of reminds me of one of those. And we'll talk about this. I'll explain what I mean in a minute.
It's baby's first angsty game.
Exactly. Baby's first angsty game. And we'll get into two of those because I have two of those on my list.
Oh, for right now?
No. Calm down, Chris.
Oh, okay.
Gosh, it's coming later. For now, I want to just give a quick shout out to two games. One is Zelda Four Swords Adventure, which was, of course, Link to the Past, but on the GBA. That came out in 2002. And then Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga. Have you ever heard of that game?
Yes.
Are you telling the truth?
Yes.
Superstar Saga is it's like for me it was my actual first JRPG. It's kind of, I mean, it's obviously the Superstar Mario and Luigi RPG games.
Yeah.
It's a little bit like Paper Mario. I would say it's really, really similar. I'm honestly surprised that Nintendo has two, Mario-themed classic JRPGs.
Yeah.
But they're both really good. Anyways, I loved this game because it introduced me to JRPGs, which I think was my favorite genre when I was a kid.
Oh, okay.
Which is weird, because I don't think I've played a real JRPG for, a decade at this point. But I loved it. And then what was the other thing? Oh yeah, Four Swords Adventure. I was stupid as a kid. I never finished it. Definitely never finished it. I don't think
That's fine.
I've never finished any of the old Zeldas.
Okay.
And I don't know if I was just too dumb as a kid. I think more I was just bored easily. And so if it wasn't immediately engaging, I just wasn't going to finish it. But one tidbit, I learned the word foe from Four Swords Adventure.
Wow.
Because there's like a statue that gives you hints in the first dungeon, and it says something, 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 a bow will hurt a foe. But I didn't know what foe meant because I was 7. So I was like, what the frick does this mean? And then I never got past it till later.
So what does it mean, Josh?
Enemy.
Wow.
I know, look at that. Now, that was a question I had for you. Have you ever learned a word from a video game? Like, do you remember learning a word from a video game?
I don't think so.
Plug us.
Sure. Yeah, I guess I learned El Gigante.
Oh, El Gigante.
And Del Lago.
You learned a couple Spanish words there.
I learned it's weird. There's a enemy in Resident Evil 4 called Vertigo.
Oh.
It has nothing to do with the word vertigo. At least none that I can remember.
It didn't need to. It just needed to sound cool.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I guess those few Spanish words in Resident Evil 4.
There you go.
I was trying to think. Maybe I want to say I learned ethereal from somewhere.
Ethereal. I feel like if you played Metal Gear, you probably learned a lot of words from Metal Gear.
Yeah, I didn't play Metal Gear back then though.
I didn't either.
So, before we move on to like our other games, do you mind if I give some honorable mentions up to the point where we're at?
Yeah, for sure. That's pretty much what I just did. So.
Okay. So, I think I've said it before.
Ooh, trying to grab my hand there.
I haven't because of the first episode. But I have 4 brothers. So most of the games I played were just hand-me-downs. Or a lot of the consoles that I played on. So, on Dreamcast, I don't think we owned a game for Dreamcast. We just had pirated discs.
Well, I mean, it was super
That's
easy
what
to
it was
pirate,
for.
so that makes sense.
So I had Crazy Taxi 1 and 2. And I think that's the only one that I played on it. Because everything else didn't work.
It sounds like the Dreamcast, baby.
On Nintendo 64, the big ones were Majora's Mask and GoldenEye.
Nice. Did you finish Majora's Mask?
Not on the Dreamcast, or not on the 64.
Oh, did you finish it later with a
GameCube Zelda collection?
Dude, was it gold?
Yes.
The box was gold?
Yeah.
Like 25-year? Dude, I had that.
That's crazy.
That's a big part of my memories that I'm going to talk about later. So that's wild. Anyways, continue.
And then I played Super Mario 64. I hate it. I hate that game.
What?
I hate 64.
Dude, I love Mario 64.
But here we go. Super Mario Sunshine.
Never played it.
Dude.
I need to play it.
I'll lend it to you. I have the 3D All-Stars.
Okay. I was going to buy that.
Oh, okay.
But no, I need to play it. That's an episode we need to do.
Yeah, for sure. On the GameCube, I think this is when I first played my my first FPS.
On the GameCube?
On the GameCube.
Oh.
Can you guess what it is?
On the GameCube? Because
Yeah.
I would have thought GoldenEye on the N64. But
No,
like a full-fledged one.
I played like the 60. I played 64 a little bit later.
Oh, okay.
Even though I had it at my disposal, I just wanted to play
didn't
new
get to
things.
it. Okay, let me think. So, not N64, GameCube.
Yep. And I'll give you a hint.
Yes.
It was not Metroid.
Okay. I mean, was it a Call of Duty?
No.
I was like, those were on GameCube, but I don't know. I have no idea.
Medal of Honor European Assault.
Obviously. What was I thinking?
Dude, that game was so rad. 4-player, like multiplayer, local. It was so good.
I miss the days of, split screen multiplayer.
Yeah.
Oh, it was awesome.
And along with that, I played Medal of Honor Frontlines that my brother-in-law Dusty lent me.
Back when Medal of Honor was good.
Dude.
What happened to them?
We'll talk about Medal of Honor because
we have a lot to talk about.
There's some junk we need to get into. Luigi's Mansion was another one of those games that I played multiple times.
Really?
Yeah, I played it like 6 times.
This is why you're such a Luigi fanboy.
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah, go suck something with your vacuum.
That game has such good like music and bosses. I love that game.
I've never played it. Another game I haven't played that's a classic.
Well, good. I have Pokemon Colosseum on here. I have Animal Crossing.
Ooh.
Which I didn't know how to play that game. I don't think anyone does.
I was like, I don't think anyone knows how to play Animal Crossing.
I just remember time traveling a lot and having hundreds of weeds. So like anytime I would make a profile, it would be destroyed.
Tons of weeds.
Tons of weeds. Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, which is one of the most hated Sonic games, but it's my favorite. It has the greatest music for a Sonic game. And I just like that game a lot. I don't know why.
Interesting.
It's just nostalgic. It's just something I played all the time.
I'm going to be honest.
Yeah?
I'm going to tell a secret.
You never played the Sonic game?
I have played one.
Sonic 06?
even worse.
Shadow the Hedgehog?
Sonic and the Black Knight.
Oh, why?
It's the only one I've ever played.
It's terrible.
Yeah, it was very bad. What a bizarre experience.
Yeah.
I haven't, and this is the thing, I don't think I've finished a giant amount of games just because I didn't have access to a giant amount of games as a kid.
Or enough time with them to even complete them.
Exactly.
Probably.
But I finished Sonic and the Black Knight.
Do you wish you didn't?
I'll never get that time back.
The last game I want to talk about for GameCube, and then we'll move on to our actual games, is Phantasy Star Online, Episode 1 and 2.
Interesting.
This is one of the first... It's not even an RPG, but it's like a looter of some sort. Yeah.
See, I don't know anything about Phantasy Star.
So, when I played this Phantasy Star, it came out originally for the Dreamcast. Yes. And it was online. It was because
that was Dreamcast's thing.
Yeah, it could be online.
It was the first console that could go online.
And this game had a really cool character creator, had a lot of really cool classes, and the music was really good. The monsters were unique. And I don't know, it's like... This is like one of those games where it's like I shouldn't have understood how to play it, but I got really good at it. And I could beat this game a lot.
That's wild. I don't think I experienced that very much as a kid. And this is another thing. I've listened to a lot of people talk about video games. I listened to you talk about video games. And I just have to conclude that I'm bad at video games. As a kid, I was not good at them. I just didn't finish a lot of games. Mm-hmm. So I'm always impressed when you talk about how you're like, you finished Phantasy Star, you finished Resident Evil 4 a million times, and all these other things. I hardly finished any games.
I feel like, you know how your taste buds change over time? Was it like every 7 years or whatever?
Something like that.
Something, that sounds fake, but they change.
Every 7 years.
I used to love olives. I hate olives now, you know?
That's because you became a man.
That's right.
Olives are awful. If you don't like olives, we don't want you to listen to this podcast.
Like I used to be able to play harder games like Mega Man, and I can't play a Mega Man anymore. But I've gotten really good at other things.
Yeah, yeah.
You know? And I think Phantasy Star, I bet if I did play that game right now, I could beat it, but that was during a time where I was just a kid and that's all I did. So Phantasy Star was just like second nature to me. And I just knew what to do in that game.
That's how I feel about JRPGs in general.
Mm-hmm.
Like, not that Phantasy Star is, because I don't know enough about the game to say what it is. Yeah. But when I was a kid, like I said, JRPGs were my bread and butter. Those were games I did finish. Mm-hmm. And I would put like 200 hours in. I feel really good about it. Now, if a JRPG like slows down for a moment, I'm out.
Yeah.
Like Final Fantasy VII Remake came out, and that is probably one of my favorite games. I love that game. Never played the original before that, so I went back, I bought it, and I played probably 10 minutes, and I was like, no.
Yeah.
Nope, I'm not going to do it. I cannot. I have to wait to attack. It made me want to die.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I'm weird about my time now, but I can't do JRPGs anymore. And I used to as a kid.
You should really try Persona 5 Golden.
I like Persona 5. I probably put in like 5 hours. Mm-hmm. So I barely started the tutorial.
Yeah.
But I liked Persona 5 a lot.
Yeah.
I just got distracted. So that's a game I need to revisit.
And I think that's it for my honorable mentions for those consoles. So you're next. What's your next game?
Oh man, my next game is gonna blow your mind. Pokemon Emerald. Another Pokemon game. So we won't sit here talking about Pokemon for too long. I want to get right into my questions about it.
Please do.
Because I know that I don't think you've even played this game.
I think I did. It was either Emerald or Sapphire.
Okay, and they're the same, essentially. Yeah. I think that the thing is, like, in Ruby, you can get Rayquaza, right?
You're asking the wrong person, Josh.
I should have done a little bit more research, I suppose.
Show me a picture.
Rayquaza is the big green dragon.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, you can get him in every one of them, right?
I don't know that.
Maybe the only difference is that you can't get both Kyogre and whatever the red one is. Mm-hmm. Anyways, but I have some questions for you. Let me get up to my list.
While we're talking about Pokemon, how did you think about Pokemon 2001, the movie.
Oh, dude. I thought you were going to ask about the modern Pokemons.
No.
We don't want to talk.
I don't care.
I just want to cry about Pikachu for a moment here. I loved that movie.
Yeah, me too.
That's the one where Pikachu, like, sacrifices his life and is revived by tears, correct?
Yeah, that's the one with the flying legendary Pokemon.
Maybe. I thought, isn't that the one where they go to the tournament and Mewtwo is there and he's organizing
Is
the
that
tournament?
2001?
I believe so.
Probably. I'm thinking of the one with Zapdos and they're on the island.
Zapdos.
Zapdos.
You're
That's
right.
his name, right?
I think it's Zapdos.
That's what I said.
You said Zapdos, like you're zapping the dose.
Zapdos.
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 Oh, that means shoes. Sorry. Zapatos.
Zapatos.
Wow, I wonder if that has a... I can't. He doesn't wear shoes.
No, I don't think the bird wears shoes.
Anyway, but Zapdos.
And like Lugia is in it.
Yes. Oh, that is another one. I think that's a different movie, but that's a great one too.
Yeah, I like that one a lot.
I loved the early Pokemon movies.
I never watched the first movie. I've only seen the one with Lugia in it.
I remember watching them, and I have vague memories of that one. I mostly remember the Mewtwo one just because of
It's iconic.
how scarring it was.
And
In a good way.
Yeah.
Poor Pikachu.
Poor Pikachu.
Thank you, Ash, for reviving him with your salty, salty tears.
Thank you, Pikachu, for letting my dad name our dog Pikachu.
You had a dog named Pikachu?
Yeah.
That's
and my
dope.
dad, he had never he doesn't know what Pokemon is at the time. He didn't know any Pokemon's names. And he just decided to name the salt and pepper poodle Pikachu.
Dude, that's dope.
No,
Did it
it
have
wasn't.
electric powers?
No, it was like the smelliest dog ever.
Well, this is good. I'm glad that we're talking about some Pokemon names because that has a lot to do with this. But first, I gotta share just two memories.
Okay.
First of all, is that this was the first game which for me was like all consuming. Up until this point, I played games and I liked them, but I wouldn't have ever called myself a quote unquote gamer, right?
Until now.
Until Pokemon Emerald. Because
Mhm.
Pokemon Emerald took over my life. I remember this was the first game that I would like hide under my pillow so I could play it all night. And like I'd play it from, when I went to bed at 9 or whatever my bedtime was as a 8-year-old till like 3 a.m. And I'd play it constantly. Anyways, I loved this game. I probably logged hundreds of hours into this game.
Sure.
And like we said earlier, I like modeled myself after the main character, the boy with the white hair. I thought he was so cool. But I remember that, and this might have been Pokemon Blue, but I remember that I had a friend, and he was kind of a friend. He was one of those friends where like your parents are friends, so you hang out together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't remember this kid's name, but I remember one time he was using my GBA, so it probably wasn't Emerald. It was probably Blue, but he was using my Game Boy, and I looked away, and he was gone, and he went to the bathroom, but he had the Game Boy.
Oh, no.
And he came out like 5 minutes later, and he dropped it in the toilet.
No.
I was scarred.
Oh,
I
my
think it still
gosh.
worked, but it was never the same.
That reminds me of a time when
I hate that kid.
we had missionaries over one time.
Oh, I remember
In
this
Los
story.
Molinos. And Austin had just gotten like his new Nintendo DS.
Mm.
And the missionary, who's never seen a DS before, he takes it and he flicks it as hard as he can to open it, and it snaps all the way back.
No.
And he just closed it and put it on my brother's bed and walked out of the room.
Did
But
Austin ever find out?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Well, like obviously he's gonna not realize it's broken. But like, did he know the missionary did it? Did you tell him? Or
Yeah,
like,
it's Elder Mitchell.
God, Elder Mitchell, if you're listening to this,
Yeah, that was funny. But go on.
but yeah, childhood memories of the only thing we cared about being destroyed. But I'll drop right in to my my this or that's, my think quicks,
Okay,
my fast ones.
please do.
All right. There's only two, but then I have a surprise for you. All right.
Oh,
Kanto or Hoenn, if you even know what those are.
Kanto.
You loser. Play Pokemon Emerald or play Pokemon Go.
Emerald.
Wow, you were very divided on that one. You
Yeah.
must love Pokemon Go.
I don't at all. I just had to think about it.
We had memories with Pokemon Go.
Yeah, we had fun.
They were good times.
I don't think you can have the same experience with Go as you can with any other Pokemon. And I think it's that portion of like you and I running around Pennsylvania Square looking for Pokemon.
I have great memories with Pokemon Go.
Yeah.
But no, you chose correctly. Pokemon Emerald is the correct answer. Now, I love the idea of what's about to happen.
Okay.
You don't know Pokemon. You don't know their names. I don't think you even know what they look like 90% of the time.
Sure.
I have distinct memories of what each of these Pokemon sound like.
Okay.
You know, as they come out of a Pokemon ball, they like make their noise. I want you to make the noise of the following Pokemon.
This is good.
All right, we're going to start off easy. Pikachu.
Pika Pika.
That was beautiful.
Thank you.
Growlithe. That was probably pretty accurate. All right, this is my favorite one. Especially because I remember what sound it makes. Zapdos. Ooh, that was pretty good.
Thank you.
I think it was literally like... All right, we got Trico.
Trico.
That was good.
Thank you.
I actually don't know what Trico makes. That was pretty good, though. Mudkip.
Mudkip.
I like that. You're just saying their names. Granted, they mostly do that.
That's what they do.
All right. The last one.
Okay.
Rayquaza.
Rayquaza.
No.
Can you make the noise?
I don't know if it's like a scream. It's like... Oh. Who's the guy who made Pokemon? It's not Miyamoto. That's
I think it is Miyamoto.
No, that's Mario
it's,
guy. Whoever it is, that old Japanese man would be incredibly disappointed in me.
Good.
But I have one more. It's not a Pokemon, but I know you can make the noise. What sound does a bunger make?
Bunger, bunger, bunger.
Bunger? Bunger, 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 bunger. All right, that was good, though. I was very proud of you. Those were all my fast ones for Pokemon. And that's
fun.
the last time we're going to mention it, but I'm glad we could send Pokemon off with such a great exercise. All right, but what's your next game?
To keep it more chronological, I'm going to go with kind of like a retrospective on Call of Duty.
Ooh.
From Call of Duty. So I've never played the first Call of Duty, which was on PC.
Because you're not 40 years old?
Yes. But I played my first Call of Duty was Finest Hour on PS2. And so
Which
we're going
pretty darn close to the first Call of Duty.
It's not numbered. So yeah, I think it was like the PS2 version of the first game. Mm-hmm. It was something like that. They do that, like with Call of Duty 2, they did Call of Duty Big Red 1.
Is that pretty much just Call of Duty 2? It's pretty
much the same game.
Okay.
At least to my
like the console
knowledge.
version, essentially.
Yeah. So I'll start with the PS2 one, and we'll go to 2010 with Call of Duty Black Ops. And I remember playing Call of Duty and it being such a fascinating game. And this was at the perfect time because my dad is a history buff and he made me a history buff. So we love World War II. And I don't think you can not make World War II interesting.
It's pretty hard to screw up.
Yeah.
World War II is fascinating.
It is. And there's nothing cooler than fighting Nazis.
Fighting the Nazis.
Killing Nazis.
Get them.
Yeah.
No, I love killing Nazis. Who doesn't? Who doesn't killing Nazis?
And so with the PS2 game, the original Call of Duty structure, for me at least, was you played a campaign as an American soldier on the European front, a Russian soldier on the Eastern front, and then you played as a Brit in Africa. That's basically like, that's the classic formula, right? The Brits use tanks in Africa. Russians are usually like snipers or stealth missions. Mm-hmm. And then the Americans... snow missions.
Important.
The Americans are going in on the beaches and through the cities of Germany and France. And so that was always fascinating to me. I always loved picking up the German weapons and using them against them for some reason.
You have been a Nazi.
But Call of Duty didn't really hit me as hard until I played Call of Duty 2 when we got the 360 for Christmas.
Was it on 360? Dang.
It was on 360.
Wow, I didn't
and
know
it was
that.
like,
I guess that makes sense because I mean, Call of Duty 4 is Modern Warfare.
yeah, I
So
think
it's
we
not
got
like that far off.
I think we got it in 2006 or 7. I don't know. It's whichever year Call of Duty 2 came out.
I didn't even realize it was that contemporary.
Right?
I didn't know that.
And that game was awesome. Trying to remember exactly what happened throughout the campaign. I don't think it even had a Russian component. I think it was strictly Americans and British. No, there was Russians. I'm being stupid. The first mission is in Russia. It's in Stalingrad. There's such a sense of, what's the word? I don't know. Nothing cooler than like
a sense of history, a sense of
yeah,
authenticity.
a sense of exactly, authenticity and history and being the Rangers on D-Day and like was it rappelling up the Omaha beach or one of the beaches in Call of Duty 2. They change it every time. Huh?
Can I ask you a history question?
Yeah.
So it was a while ago, I went on a really big Quora kick where I would just research random military things on Quora.
That's cool.
Which I'm not sure, I mean, it's relatively reliable, but it's
Yeah.
not at the same time, you know? Now, somehow I got on the subject of like dogs in war and how dogs were implemented.
Yeah.
And I read a story that was like kind of funny, but also kind of really sad about dogs on the Russian front.
Is this where they would like sniff out mines or something, or they would have bombs strapped to them?
Yeah, the dogs would have bombs strapped to them, but it didn't work because dogs are just nice creatures.
So they would come up to the Russians?
Yes.
Oh my god.
They would send the dogs out to go under tanks.
Yeah.
But the dogs would get scared of the tanks, even after being trained, and they'd just run back to the Russians and blow the Russians up.
That's awesome and sad at the same time.
And Germans got wind of it, and they just started shooting dogs.
Oh my
tanks. So it's like so sad, but it's also like kind of hilarious.
That is, yeah, the Russians are crazy, man.
They did anything, man. But can you just imagine like your dog's going out and then he's just like, "Oh, I'm coming back." Goodbye.
Which is funny. I think so.
That wasn't really a question, I guess. But.
No, it's funny. It's very interesting. You go from. So Call of Duty World at War was the first one to... No, it wasn't. It was Call of Duty 4 that had dogs the first time. And then World at War just like...
Dogs became like a mainstay.
A thing, yeah.
Because that's when they're first to kill streak, correct, in World at War.
I believe so, yeah, you're right.
I'm pretty sure. Because it's a Black Ops thing to have dogs, not a Modern Warfare thing. Or is it in both?
So Modern Warfare, the kill streaks were recon...
And it was different.
Artillery and airstrike.
And that was it.
No, it was artillery and helicopter.
Mm-hmm.
And then in World at War, they had the reconnaissance, artillery, and then dogs.
Yes.
I believe.
It was I believe like that's what it was.
There might have been like a third one in between dogs and artillery, but... So Infinity Ward was the developer who made Call of Duty 2. And they would soon later make Modern Warfare,
which we'll talk about again probably.
Yes.
Although we might just be able to combine it. Do you want me just to combine my Modern Warfare 2 one with yours right now? Not right now, but once you get to it.
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay.
So after Call of Duty 2, Treyarch made Call of Duty 3, and Treyarch's games are always really interesting. They're
different.
They're not cookie cutter, strict shooters, you know? Call of Duty 3 added Sprint, I believe.
Whoa, really?
I think that was the first one with Sprint.
Calm down.
Right?
It's like weird to think that there was a time when sprinting wasn't a thing.
Yeah. Back when, the only games you had were like Doom, Wolfenstein, and Halo. You know, none of them had sprint
except Sonic.
And Call of Duty 3 had like in the multiplayer you could ride in tanks and jeeps,
really,
and motorcycles. Yeah, it's very weird. But I feel like Treyarch usually pushes the line a little bit in all of their games.
For sure.
They definitely go that extra mile where it's like you can tell it's a Treyarch game. They may
sometimes
not
that works out for them. Sometimes it really doesn't.
Sometimes it really doesn't.
Yeah.
But yeah.
When it works out, it's great though.
Oh, for sure. They have, I think Treyarch games, if they have a campaign, are probably the most action-packed thrillers.
Yeah.
You know? They're usually the undercover missions.
Yeah.
They have more bombastic set pieces, I think.
I'd say they're the more wild ride. They're more out there.
Yeah, like there's a mission in Call of Duty 3 where you're running over Nazis.
What more could you ask for?
And they added QuickTime events to their games.
Oh.
In Call of Duty 3, which I thought were awesome as a kid.
I actually like the QuickTime events that happen in Call of Duty.
People didn't like them.
That's because people suck.
Yeah.
I feel like everyone hates QuickTime events. I don't think they're that bad.
As long as they're done right, I think they're great.
I think, yeah. Sometimes
I think they're pretty, they can take you out of the experience for sure.
Yeah, I would say so. I like the QuickTime event when you throw the knife into, what's his name? His face.
Shepard.
Into Shepard's face. I like that. That's kind of a QuickTime.
It's kind of a QuickTime. Or shooting Zakhaev at the end of 3 or
there we go.
4, which, talking about 4 now, this is the first modern warfare shooter, like contemporary.
It's both the first modern shooter and it's literally called Modern Warfare.
I'm sure there was other ones, like I'm sure Arma was doing stuff.
Yeah,
but this was the first big one. This is the one
mainstream.
The graphics look out of this world.
They looked insane compared to everything else at the time.
Yeah,
at least that was my impression as a kid.
No. Like this was the most photorealistic game I think anyone played at that time. Was it 2007?
For Modern Warfare, yeah, it was 2007.
This game was insane, and it really, like, at the time it was like, wow, this is really intense, and this is really visceral.
Yeah,
I think that's the word I would use for it. And it was cool because, like, it was the first Call of Duty I felt it had a story. It had characters. You had Captain Price. You had Imran Zakhaev as the enemy.
Soap.
And his son. You had Soap.
Roach is in Modern Warfare, correct?
Yeah. Yeah. You had Roach. You had Soap.
Spoiler alert.
Maktavish. You had all these characters who would...
Shepard.
Yeah, immediately become these, like, iconic characters.
And they are iconic, especially people like Price and Shepard and Soap. I mean, you know them. I love those characters, which is odd to say, but I really do love those characters. So I agree with you.
Yeah. And then, so the funny thing is, I did not play Call of Duty 4 until after I played World at War.
Really?
I got World at War first. I had the choice. I remember one Christmas I had the choice. I could either get World at War or COD 4. And I picked World at War because I was a sucker for World War II.
I was like, that makes sense. I understand that.
And my dad had no idea how graphic this game was.
How old were you? Oh, I remember this story.
I was 2000. This was 2000. I was 2000 years old. No, this was in 2008. So I was 10.
Ooh, just old enough to
and this game, if anyone who doesn't know, it opens with a torture scene. Of an Imperial Japanese officer slitting the throat of an American trooper who has been captured. And from then on, the game just ramps up. There is the first time that there's gore in Call of Duty, like graphic gore. Like, I don't think the gore has even reached that point since then of blowing people's limbs off and them holding on to their legs while they're missing.
I agree, and I've played most of the modern Call of Duties.
Yeah.
Probably from 4 up till everything that's been released besides Black Ops 4.
Yeah.
And yeah, I would say it's the most graphic, easily.
And there's little touches that are so dark that I'm sometimes surprised they even put in the game. Like, only when you fight the Japanese, when you kill them or when you blow like their legs up, they will crawl into a corner and hold a grenade. And if you get near them, they will pull the grenade pin and blow themselves up.
Dang.
Only the Japanese.
It's just like touches like that are what contribute to it feeling so visceral and so real.
So special.
And special.
Because this game also introduces you to 2 characters that are important to Call of Duty. And that is Dmitry Petrenko and Viktor Reznov.
Yep.
And they will become important later down the line. They were not throwaway characters, but
I mean, they weren't super important.
They weren't important. They weren't as iconic back then as they are today.
They weren't the focus. They were almost side characters.
And this was also like one of the first games where you were on the Pacific Front.
Yeah, I feel like, the Eastern, or not the Eastern Front, obviously the Pacific Front, but the Far East.
Yeah.
The Pacific Front was something that was never explored in, what's the right word? Mainstream media.
Yeah,
until this.
I can only think of Medal of Honor Pacific Assault as the only other game that has done it.
And even to this day, I mean, in Battlefield 5, I think they finally let out the Pacific patch after like a year of the game being out.
Yeah.
And so it's like, at that point, who cares?
Exactly. And they did an okay job of it. But this was such a harrowing experience for a kid.
Oh, yeah.
To play.
For an adult.
Yeah. And this was also the first Call of Duty to have zombies.
Which becomes a mainstay, obviously.
Yeah, it becomes a mainstay, but it wasn't as important as it is now as it was back then.
It was like just a bonus. Like
you beat the campaign and then you're shoved into Nocturne Toten.
It was just a little nugget.
Yeah, it's a little special nugget you find at the end.
A little dino nugget for
you. But this will soon later in
Black Ops.
Yeah, a couple years down the line, become huge and also become one of the bonding agents for you and I.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure.
This is what we played, was
we
Nazi zombies. It's definitely lost its luster in later entries of the series, but like,
I think once you get to halfway through like 2, it really starts to go downhill.
Yeah, for sure.
It's just not the same.
There was a problem with this game in particular. So
with World at War?
With World at War. When I play Call of Duty or any first-person shooter, I'm always on the hardest difficulty. And when
you're a big boy.
I'm a big boy with big dreams.
No, I'm the same ways, but specifically with Call of Duty, I always play the campaign on Veteran.
Yeah.
I just enjoy it. I don't know why.
I enjoy it too.
And I don't like playing hard games. I don't like doing hard things. But for some reason, Call of Duty, gotta play it on Veteran.
I agree. Except for on World at War.
Don't put the grenade spam, right? I've heard
the grenade spam and the monster pits.
What?
So if you don't move up, the guys just keep coming out.
Yeah,
it's infinite.
Like they just respawn.
They just keep respawning. So the game is a battle of you going from cover to cover, hoping that no one sees you, which is impossible in that game. I did not platinum this game, so I played this game first on 360, and then in 2012 I got my PS3 or whatever. Played it. I beat this game maybe 3 times on Veteran. I did not platinum this game until this year, in 2020.
It's a long time coming.
It was a long time coming.
I'm surprised you platinumed it though.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm
surprised other people were trying to platinum it.
I've just heard of the legends, because I've platinumed. I think I've only platinumed 2 Call of Duty games.
Yeah.
No, I platinumed 3.
Okay.
Because Modern Warfare 1, 2, and
New Modern
Warfare.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I got about halfway through Cold War.
Mm-hmm.
But I know that this game is legendary.
It's infamous
for how hard it is.
It
on
is
Veteran.
So hard. I don't think this is one of the one of those games where I could have finished it on veteran as a child.
Yeah.
Because when I got the platinum this year, I didn't have to do any of that because I already did. I just had to get the co-op trophies.
Oh, okay. I see what you mean.
So
like it's too hard to do it now. Like you needed your kid abilities.
Exactly. I needed not the abilities, the patience.
Yeah.
I have no
nothing
patience
else in your
anymore.
life.
Exactly. So I mean, this was just one of those really important Call of Duties. A real turning point for the series.
Yeah, I would say that this and Modern Warfare were really the first modern Call of Duty. The first formula where it really comes together.
I can agree with it. Yeah. And then from here we go to Modern Warfare 2. Which would you like to talk about Modern Warfare 2?
Dude, I'd love to talk about Modern Warfare 2. This was my first modern game, I guess you could say.
Mm-hmm.
Up till this point, I play games that are coming out, obviously. Like Pokemon Emerald was new when I played it. Twilight Princess was new when I played it. And I'm going to talk about a couple other games. But this was the first one that was what you would think of as like a modern game. It's an FPS, it's beautiful, and it's also more mature, right?
Yeah.
So it's the first game I play that is adult, I guess you could say. But I remember that I played this game not at my house because my parents would never have allowed. Oh my gosh, I got to figure out what to do about these doggos.
Kill him.
Poquito is already dead, I guess. But Copy, you're next. I'll edit this. Modern Warfare 2 was a game that I first played at my friend Brandon Fletcher's house.
Yeah.
And he wasn't the same as like Evan, where we were just kids and I was like, oh, I got to go to this friend's house.
You're using him?
I wasn't just using him. Brandon was actually a friend. Evan was too. I'm not a bad person. But Brandon...
It's hard to believe you.
I know. I hardly believe it myself sometimes. But Brandon, his family had Xbox 360. And that was the first console I used that wasn't a Nintendo console, essentially. And I remember him introducing me to Modern Warfare 2 and like not being able to control it. Because I'd never had 2 analog sticks before.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I was probably like 11 or 12. So I was a person,
That's crazy.
I was like a full-fledged, cognizant person who had like full motor control and whatnot.
Yeah.
And so I remember having like a really hard time with it. And it was not easy to like both walk around and look, and aiming was that even a question? Like, could I aim? I could hardly walk, It was like ridiculous. But I remember over and over and over and over, we would play just multiplayer, local multiplayer, because they didn't have Xbox Live.
Yeah.
We would play it on Rust. And I was obsessed with just using the pistol with a knife. But I was way too bad to play with just a pistol and a knife. But I remember just being destroyed over and over and over by them because they grew up playing it. But this is a little insight into my life. I have a couple distinct memories of it, and I'm only going to share one of them just for time's sake because we have a lot of stuff to talk about.
Sure.
But first of all, as a preface, I was a really chubby kid, a really fat little kid.
Okay.
I was like a little bowling ball. I was like barely 5 feet tall, and I probably weighed as much as I do now. So I was like very round and very rotund.
Okay.
And my dad, like I said, he's in the military, and he's always been a really fit guy. Does triathlons, loves to run. He was a big swimmer, big water skier. It's just how he is. He's a fit guy. I remember as a kid, I wouldn't want to like lay my head on his stomach because it was too hard. Straight up. I told my mom I liked her stomach more because it was like a pillow. She's never forgiven me. Anyways, but he was a really really fit guy, and so he would make me go to the gym with him. Not make me. We would spend time with each other at the gym.
Father and son gym time.
Yeah, And he was trying to instill in me the desire to not be what I was.
Yes.
A little rotund child. So I remember that the only thing that got me through running on the treadmill and biking sometimes was just daydreaming about Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. I would just like imagine it in my head and how good I'd be that day if I could just get to Brandon's house and play some COD.
Okay.
And so I have really distinct memories of that and just like daydreaming about it for hours and hours and hours. And Spec Ops. I remember Spec Ops too.
Mm-hmm.
But I have a couple of fast ones for you.
Give them to me.
Is it all right if I throw them at you?
Yeah.
They're going to be blazing quick, Chris.
They better be.
All right, here we go. Let me look at them. I got to make sure they're actually fast ones. They could be medium speed ones.
I like slow ones too.
Okay, here we go. This is a slow one.
Okay.
Favorite COD. Medium speed. You have to answer quickly. Favorite COD.
From Call of Duty
Up to Black Ops.
Up to Black Ops? Black Ops.
Interesting.
You?
In retrospect, Modern Warfare. The original.
The original Modern Warfare?
I love the original Modern Warfare.
That would probably be my second.
Yeah. And Black Ops would probably be my second, and then Modern Warfare 2. But I love the original Modern Warfare.
Okay, how about this? Listen to this.
Ooh, I got my ear
If I were
you.
to rank them, it would be Finest Hour at the bottom. Right?
You hear that, Infinity Ward?
Call of Duty 3 right above it. Call of Duty... I'm going to go Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2.
Ooh.
And then Call of Duty 2.
Ooh.
World at War. Call of Duty 4. Right? And then Black Ops.
That's a pretty good list. I respect that.
I am
list.
not a fan of Modern Warfare 2.
That's interesting. I mean, because Modern Warfare 2 is the first game where it becomes what it's known as today, I think.
Sure,
Where it's like an action movie, like a dumb action movie.
It's blockbuster for sure.
Exactly. Because Modern Warfare 1 still had that edgy realness to it.
Mm-hmm.
But it really loses that in 2. Where I think 2 is a fun game, but it doesn't carry the same weight.
Yeah.
So, I agree with that. But that was too slow, Chris. These
Sorry.
are fast ones. All right. Oh, gosh darn it. I ruined my own question.
What?
I was going to ask you to guess what my favorite COD was.
Oh, shoot.
I just sold myself out like a dog. All right. I'll skip it. I want you to say these lines for me. Bravo 6 going dark.
Bravo 6 going dark.
Say stay frosty.
Stay frosty.
We almost had them.
We almost had them.
If you were a loser like me, you would have heard that a lot. I'll tell you this one. We'll get them next time. I heard that a lot too.
Yeah.
Chris only heard the winner ones. I didn't hear those ones. But those were my fast ones for Modern Warfare 2. Those were good times. I loved that game.
Did you like the cliffhanger mission or the Brazil mission more?
In which
In
I'm
Modern
trying to
Warfare 2.
remember. Modern Warfare 2. Cliffhanger. Is that the first one where you're on the ice?
Yeah, it's the ice one with the jet skis, or do you like, or the snow skis?
Oh, snow skis. I was like, what?
Or the Brazil mission where you're like
The favela?
running. Yeah.
I hate the favela mission.
Me too.
I despise that mission. Mostly because the veteran playthrough made me want to kill myself.
Yes.
I hated that. So,
But this game also had no Russian.
No Russian was an interesting mission. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't play it for my platinum run because I didn't have to. Because you can skip it.
You skipped it?
Not because I don't like it, because I actually think it's an important mission and I think it's really interesting. But just because I was going back just to get the platinum.
Oh, so it's just a waste of time.
Yeah, it's just a waste of time because it
Okay.
takes like 30 minutes. Because you don't have to play it.
Yeah, you don't have to.
So I think I skipped it.
It's interesting.
Pretty sure I skipped it.
Because I feel like that's the strongest point of the campaign.
Really? Let me
I think that's the most powerful for sure.
It's certainly powerful. I'm trying to remember if there was a mission I really like from Modern Warfare 2.
It definitely raises the stakes.
I like Burger Town. I like defending Burger Town.
So, quickly, we're not going to talk about Modern Warfare 3
No.
because it's not in this.
I think that falls
Time
into
span.
the teen years, which we'll do another
Absolutely.
episode on.
But if you were to rank the Modern Warfares, should we save this for the other episode?
Let's save it.
Okay, we'll save
Because Chris and I have controversial opinions, or at least I have controversial opinions about the Modern Warfare games.
it. Yeah. But let's just. I'll quickly end the Call of Duty retrospect on with Black Ops, which is another one of those games where it took it up a notch.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what I'm saying. Like the Modern Warfare games are, like you said, they're more blockbuster as they go on. Treyarch I felt took it down a notch for this game, but in a good way. It wasn't, there's nukes.
It's still bombastic.
Still bombastic, but it's more of that.
It's less campy.
Yeah. There's a scene in Black Ops where you're playing Russian roulette and the Viet Cong have you hostage.
Yeah.
And like you watch one of your main comrades just die. He refuses to shoot himself, and they beat him over the head with a lead pipe. Like, really graphic.
Bad stuff.
Bad stuff. If you're 12, you probably shouldn't be playing this game.
If you played World of War, you can recognize the DNA in Black Ops.
And I remember seeing this game. I think this was probably one of the first E3s I ever watched.
Oh man, I don't think I watched E3 till I was a teenager. I didn't even think about it.
I vividly remember this one. It's the mission where you're Mason, you're going through the tunnels in the Viet Cong, and like you get out, and obviously the missions don't connect because that's how they do E3 stuff. They have 2 separate missions connected. So like usually when you come out of the tunnel, you're somewhere else. You get rescued, but in the E3 trailer, you got out of the tunnel and then you were able to fight for the helicopter.
Ooh.
Which in the campaign you'd find out that you actually pilot the helicopter, which is very cool. This is the game where they bring back Reznov and he becomes
a big part.
They bring back Dmitri. Woods is introduced in this game, who is probably, besides Price, the most famous and most recognizable Call of Duty character.
Yeah, I would say so. By the way, how do you say Dimitri's last name?
Petrenko?
I always think of pachinko machines.
It might be Pevstrenko. I think it's Petrenko. Now I can't even think about it.
All I know is it's not actually pachinko.
It's not. And I don't know, there's something... This is one of those games where I remember playing it the first time on Christmas morning.
Ooh, really?
When I got it that year, yeah. And this is one of those things where when I play Black Ops or when I am walking in the rain, I think of Black Ops.
Ooh.
It's when I smell that like acid, the acidity in the rain during fall time, I think of Black Ops. And I distinctly remember that time on Christmas morning playing through the campaign all at once. Like,
oh yeah,
nonstop. I was playing that. My parents went to sleep because they were tired from wrapping presents the night before. And I was playing this game. And I think this was the first year that I was actually in this house.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That makes sense because y'all moved here towards the end of your childhood.
Yeah.
Quote unquote.
And this is also where Nazi zombies ramped up. They had the World at War maps, but then the Black Ops maps just took it a step further. They added story, characters. The maps got crazy, like the moon map. And obviously, how could you forget of Kino? Yeah. Such an iconic map. And this is
Pack-a-Punch is finally a thing. And no, could you pack?
You could pack in Der Riese in World at War. Yeah.
Dude, I don't even remember that.
Yeah, the Pack-a-Punch was really different in World at War II.
See, I don't even remember that. So. This is the first modern iteration of zombies.
Yeah, this is like what zombies was gonna be with Easter eggs and stuff involved.
Yeah.
Love it or you hate it, it's there.
I liked it then.
I liked it back then too. I don't like it now.
It had a specific place and time.
Yeah.
Do you have any fast ones from Black Ops or from COD for me?
Sure. What setting? World War II, Cold War, or modern?
Oh, modern. I love Modern Warfare.
Okay.
I can't handle it.
The original 4 World at War zombie maps or the new Black Ops maps? Do you need a reminder?
I like the Black Ops maps.
Okay.
I liked them when they got a teeny bit more zany, but before they got too zany.
Okay. I like that. Price, Reznov, or Woods?
Price.
Okay.
I love Price. I'm a sucker. I'm a sucker for good old Price.
You want to hear something funny?
Tell me.
Price is in Call of Duty 2.
No.
Yeah. And he's still wearing like the beret.
Dude, that's freaking dope.
Yeah.
I need to go back and play Call of Duty 2 now.
Those are the only ones I really had for Call of Duty. I know it was a long one because we're covering like 10 different games, but
No, it's okay because I had fast ones for it too. So
yeah.
that was good.
So now is your turn, sir.
Oh baby, I got an important one. I think I technically only have one more.
I think I have like one more too.
I have two more, so it's good that I'm going first.
Mm-hmm.
So one I can just kind of conglomerate into Zelda. But first, I want to talk about my first Zelda game that I actually finished and that kind of became a part of me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I love this game. I think it's an unpopular game to like, but it's probably my favorite Zelda game just because it was my first Zelda game that I really like got into and loved. It was also probably my first big boy game where it was more of a modern control scheme and it was a little bit darker. And this is when the dark, angsty games become like really kick off in full for this generation. And it's Twilight Princess.
Yeah.
Which came out in 2006. It was like a last hurrah for the GameCube, but also a launch title for the Wii. And I played it on the Wii.
Okay.
So, like I said, it was the first of many angsty, dark teenager games that I played. But I think that for me, it just left a really, I don't know, it really changed the way I thought of video games. And it was the first game that really spoke to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know why. I don't know what that says about me. Maybe I was a little 12-year-old version of Edgar Allan Poe. That's what I think of with this game. It's just bizarre.
Yeah.
It's like weirdly dark. But I had a couple questions. Oh no, I had a memory associated with it. Do you remember those little crickets you need to find? Or did you ever play this game?
I never played Twilight Princess.
Oh my gosh. Oh, dude. I love this game.
I've only played Majora's Mask and Wind Waker.
Dude, that's wild. And those are probably two of the... Those games objectively are better than Twilight Princess. Yeah. But I love Twilight Princess. So there's sections where you need to go into like a dark world, which is the same world, but, you know, cloaked in shadow or whatever.
Yeah.
And there are these weird crickets that you need to kind of catch. And once you catch a certain amount, I think the world changes. Like you can change it into the light world, I believe.
Okay.
But anyways, these weird crickets, they looked exactly like these crickets that we had in our basement. They're called camel crickets.
Mm-hmm. And
they like have these weird haunches and they were terrifying. I remember that I was terrified to go into our basement and this game did not help. It just like made me super scared of them. But anyways, this game, like I said, my first big game that was like not for adults, but for an older kid, you know?
Yeah.
And it was also the first game besides a Pokemon game or a GBA game that I remember actually completing and like bringing myself all the way through it.
I always thought of Twilight Princess is as if Stanley Kubrick directed a Zelda game.
That's the most respectful thing anyone's ever said about Twilight Princess.
That's just always what I thought of it.
I would say so. I mean, I agree with that.
If it was just, it's not like there's just something off about it in a dark way, but it's still Legend of Zelda and Link, you know?
Very much. And it's just like a tad too dark to fit in with the rest of them.
Yeah.
I suppose you could say the same about Majora's Mask.
Definitely. Majora's Mask is like a fever dream.
And that one's darker.
Oh, for sure.
In themes, certainly it's darker. But I just loved the art style. At the time, I was into anime, and I remember checking out mangas from the library. You know, so for me, it just really fit where I was at in my life. I was probably 12. But I have a couple questions for you.
Please.
A little slow ball first. What was your favorite Wii game? Or did you ever even play the Wii?
I did play the Wii for a short minute.
Ooh, for a Wii minute?
For a Wii minute.
Point for them.
I didn't play too much. There's like 3 games I remember for sure. Silent Hill, Shattered Memories.
Ooh, good game. Good game.
Really good game.
Really underrated.
Super Mario Galaxy.
Oh, dude. That should be on my list because I love that game. You probably don't because you have bad taste in Mario games.
I do have it on my list.
Ooh, look at you!
Well, not on the big boy list, on the small boy list.
The little boy list.
On the Wii boy list. And then this is in between this is like a PS2 and a Wii game, but it's Dokapon Kingdom.
You look at me like I should know what Dokapon Kingdom
You shouldn't know what this is. It's a fun party.
Oh, like a party game.
Like it's a fantasy game where It's basically rock, paper, scissors is what the combat is. And
Pokemon.
yeah, basically. But
Oh,
like
really?
you're all trying to, like you can be an assassin, a knight, a mage, stuff like that.
Okay. Yeah.
And it's you're trying to get to the top of like the king's approval. I'm pretty sure that's what it is.
Interesting.
So like I'm gonna tell you right now, this game takes like 2 or 3 days to complete a game with friends.
Oh, wow.
It takes a long time. It's
That's
like
kind of cool though.
So the best way I can put it, it's a board game and a video game,
that's pretty dope.
but it takes a really long time.
Huh. Did you like it?
I loved it for the first time. And then I was like, this takes too long. I'm never going to play this ever again.
And you didn't. You
I
kept
didn't.
your word.
No, but I got a lot of people to play it though.
You both.
As in, I got Jarrett to play it. And I forgot who introduced it to us. It might have been one of my brothers or could have been one of their friends. But that was a cool game. But Galaxy was my favorite.
Galaxy's awesome.
Yeah.
I think that no one can. You can't say a bad word about Galaxy. It's a good game.
Or Galaxy 2.
I heard Galaxy 2 is great. I feel bad for not having played Galaxy 2.
It's the same.
It should be in the 3D All Stars pack. But I'm not going
Right?
to talk. We don't need to talk about this right now.
Yeah.
But I love Galaxy. And that should be on my list. But that's interesting.
What's
I think
your
that's
favorite Wii game?
So, my favorite Wii game. Dude, it might be Galaxy. Now that I really think about it.
Galaxy is just a perfect Mario game.
It really is. Because if I really think back, that's one of the games I had the most memories with.
Mm-hmm.
But I was going to ask you a question.
Yeah.
Do what I was supposed to do earlier. What would you guess is my favorite Zelda game?
Of all of them?
Of all of them. And I think I've played a couple more than you have.
I think so too. Since I've only
Because you played two. There's like 12. I haven't played a lot, though. I think I've only played half of them. And I haven't beaten all the ones I've played.
A Link to the Past?
No.
Um,
Hilarious. I'm a loser.
Ghost Tracks or whatever it's called.
Dude, I love that game. There's Phantom Hourglass and Spirit Tracks.
Spirit Tracks.
But it's not. I actually don't like Spirit Tracks. I never finished it. I liked Phantom Hourglass.
So is it Twilight Princess?
No, it's
What is
Wind
it?
Waker.
Okay.
I love Wind
I thought
Waker.
that would be too easy, so I didn't say it, because that's like, I think that's my favorite one too.
That's what I was going to guess. Because I was going to make myself guess yours, and I'm pretty sure yours is Wind Waker.
Yeah.
Yeah, Wind Waker is awesome. And that's the next game I have to talk about. But that isn't going to come till you've done some fast ones. Burr, 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 burr. So this is a different type of fast one. I want
Okay.
you to tell me the first word that comes to your mind when I say
Hey.
a Zelda-related word.
Okay.
And I'll do the same. After you say yours, I'll say mine.
Okay.
It might not work. I might just repeat whatever you say because that word's in my head then.
Okay.
But I'll try really hard not to.
Okay.
All right. Zelda.
Girl.
Link. What's wrong with you? Angst.
Emo.
Me. Wolf.
The first thing I thought of was Professor Lupin, Harry Potter, Prisoner of Azkaban.
Ah, Prisoner of Azkaban. We should do one on the Harry Potter movies.
Yeah, we should.
But Midna. That was mine. Do you know who Midna is?
That's the wolf lady, right?
She's the wolf lady. Yeah, she's the wolf lady. What about Ganondorf?
Big nose.
Dude, I thought big fat boy. Yes, big nose, big fat boy. Sword.
Shield.
Ooh, I thought bow.
Oh, okay.
But that might be just because I read the next one. Bow. What's bow?
Arrow.
Ooh, yeah, arrow. I like that. Water temple.
For some reason, I just thought of Shadow of the Colossus.
I thought, oh no. Boomerang.
Oh. I don't know.
You don't know. Your thought is I don't know?
Oh, I thought you said boomerang was your answer for water temple.
No, I said oh no. That's my answer.
Oh.
Oh, no.
I thought you were saying, oh no, boomerang. I was like, what?
It's coming back.
Boomerang?
Yeah, boomerang.
Kangaroo.
Kangaroo.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Mine is right back at you.
Uh-huh.
Oh, you like that? All right, 3 more. Nintendo.
GameCube.
Ooh, I thought Mario.
Okay.
Wii motion controls.
Pain.
Yeah, pain. Yeah. That was good.
Thank
I
you.
liked that. That's pretty much what I thought, but you did it way better than I did. That was the final one. Was Hiya.
Nice.
That was awesome.
I like it.
All right, now I got to talk about Wind Waker.
Okay.
Is it all right if we talk about this one now?
Oh, yeah.
I just skip you?
Yeah, that's fine.
Good. Because this is kind of related. I feel like you can't talk about Twilight Princess without talking about Wind Waker.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you easily can, but for me, they're connected. Because you said something about Call of Duty 2 or 1 or the first Call of Duty game you talked about.
Mm-hmm.
You said it really sparked it sparked you going down a path of other first person shooters. And you said the same thing about Resident Evil.
Mm-hmm.
That it really was pretty much like a taste maker for you. And it sent you down a path. Like a flashpoint.
Yeah.
Right? And for me, Twilight Princess was one of those. But it was with the Zelda games.
It's like a butterfly effect.
Yeah, right? Like if it weren't for this, I would never have encountered all these other things.
Mm-hmm.
And we mentioned it earlier, but it was because of Twilight Princess that I went to the thrift store and found this collector's edition of the Zelda games. It was like this gold cover for the GameCube.
Yeah.
And it came with Ocarina of Time,
Zelda 1 and 2.
Zelda 1 and 2, I think Link to the Past, and as well as Majora's Mask and Wind Waker.
Wow.
I know, it had almost all of them.
I'll tell you, mine did not have Wind Waker because it was just the regular collector's edition.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Dude,
or
that
the
sucks.
Zelda collection.
And maybe mine had
yours
both
must
for
have been
some
both of
other
them.
reason. I don't know. Maybe the disc was just in there. I don't know.
Well, it could have been like you said that yours was a gold cover.
Yes.
Mine was gray.
Oh, yeah, maybe mine was like a newer edition that came out alongside Wind Waker.
It probably was, yeah. That's very cool, though. I didn't know that they made that, actually.
It's awesome. I think I still have it at my house. Maybe we can make that like the thumbnail for this video or something.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Because it's pretty unique. I've never seen anyone else have one. That's why I was so surprised when you said you had something similar.
Mm-hmm.
But as we just mentioned, Wind Waker is one of my favorite games, not just of Zelda, but of all time.
Yeah.
I love this game. It was my first introduction to open world exploration.
Mm-hmm.
It was the first time that I played a game where I felt like the world was like alive. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Like they had the towns and like you could interact with them and the pigs and
the pigs. Dude,
it felt like when you sailed to a new island, you were discovering that island.
Yes.
You know?
You never knew what you were going to find, a new story, sometimes just like a little tidbit.
Mm-hmm.
I totally agree.
And talk about a game that styled itself so well it could never be aged.
Right?
It still looks amazing.
It could be brand new. If you told me it was coming out tomorrow, I would believe you because the art style is timeless.
Yeah, I agree. That cell shading.
Zelda, or what they called it? They called it Zelda at the time.
Are you serious?
It was cell shaded. Yeah,
that's awesome.
And people hated it.
I know people hated this game when it first came out.
Like I went back and looked at some reviews. People did not like this game
because they're stupid.
Now, hear me out. I have a question because I agree they're stupid, but the reason, or one of the reasons, people didn't like it is because they thought the dungeons and maybe the presentation was too kiddie, and it was too easy. As a result, that they dumbed down the game essentially.
Okay.
Now, number one, I don't see that as a problem personally, but that's a big criticism people have of Twilight Princess, of
being too dark,
of Wind Waker, and of all the modern Zeldas. Probably besides Breath of the Wild, is that they're too easy.
Okay.
Now, did you ever feel that way? I mean, you didn't even really finish most of these. You only finished Majora's Mask and Wind Waker.
Yeah. I don't see why these games have to be so hard.
Yeah.
And why, I don't know why that has to be such a criticism.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like, oh, it's too easy, but it is technically a kid's game. Yeah. But adults can enjoy it. Because A Link to the Past wasn't that hard.
I mean, this is the thing. I imagine it wasn't. I was really young when I played it, and I thought it was a little too hard. But I don't
like the only ones that I can think that are hard are like the first couple because they're so ambiguous and they're like
obtuse. That's why they're
very
hard.
Obtuse. Like what was that? What's that one that just came out remastered for Switch?
Ooh, just got remastered for the Switch?
Yeah, not A Link to the Past, but
I don't know. Maybe Minish Cap.
Link's Awakening.
Oh,
people
Link Between Worlds.
Yeah, people thought Link's Awakening was so obtuse and too hard.
Oh, never mind. I was wrong. I know what you're talking about. Was it one of the Capcom games?
Capcom.
Because Capcom made the Oracle of Seasons, Oracle of something. They made Minish Cap. And I think did they also do Link's Awakening, or was that another original one?
I don't know.
There's a weird history.
There's
with
a weird
Zelda,
history
because
with
half of them
Zelda.
are like Capcom games.
Yeah. But people still think that game remastered is too obtuse, and it's a kid's game. So I don't really know what that says about the times back then. People were complaining that it was too easy.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't think that's an argument for Zelda. That's like, then why don't you say that Pokemon's too easy?
I do think Pokemon's too easy.
Yeah, it is easy, but it's like,
but I guess that
it's
is the
supposed
point,
to be,
isn't it? Huh?
It's like,
if you want a more difficult experience, play a game that's not specifically made for children.
Like, why would you make an E game that a kid can't play because it's too difficult?
I don't know. I think it is an interesting discussion. Although I do agree with you that I think that, especially with, Zelda.
But it's not
supposed to be hard.
At the same time, yeah, it's just not supposed to be hard.
Maybe people found it boring because of how easy it was.
Maybe.
But I don't know. I thought it was an experience.
Because a lot of people didn't like Wind Waker, and then like years later they said they loved it. And I think it was probably like just a sign of the times where it was cool to dog on top of Wind Waker.
And people wanted the dark, angsty, gray, brown games.
But people hated Majora's Mask too at first.
Did they hate Majora's Mask?
I'm pretty sure.
I didn't know that.
Because it was kind of just like a throwaway game. It came out on Halloween, I think.
They used the same assets. It was developed in like 3 months or something ridiculous.
Yeah, it was right after Link's to the Past.
An Ocarina of Time. Yeah.
Yeah. So, Ocarina of Time, not Link to the Past. So I think most people just follow the crowd and they just mob mentality.
I guess it must be that. And maybe we are wrong. Maybe we're not, because obviously you and I are not Zelda experts. We're not purists. So for me, I'll just play whatever I think is a good game.
Yeah.
But I just loved the story. I loved the visuals. I loved, again, it was one of my first games that I played with a real controller. A GameCube controller. And for me, that was just very new. So there's so much about this game that was a first for me. Open world. Great music. You're exploring. You're operating in a 3D world, which I'd hardly ever done. And it was awesome. But I have some fast ones for you, unless you have some questions for me, or if you have anything else to say about Wind Waker.
No, please go on.
All right, here we go. We already talked about the favorite Zeldas. And we talked about the big complaint about it being too easy. All right, here we go. These are the fast ones. Tell me, Chris, would you rather it be a toon game or not?
I would rather it be a toon game.
Ooh. Wake the Wind or Brave the Waves?
Wake the Wind.
Ooh. Ocarina or Wind Wand?
It's a hard one, dude.
Oh, I know.
I like the Ocarina more.
Ooh, interesting.
But
I like the way Link looks like he's freaking feeling it when he uses the Wind Wand.
That's true.
His eyes are like glazed over. He's like, oh yeah.
With that Wind Wand, you're controlling the wind, so that's way cooler.
Pretty
Wind
cool.
Wand.
Wind Wand. Yeah, that was the right decision. Red Lion or Navi?
Navi's the boat, correct?
Navi is the
ship.
Hey, listen.
Oh.
And Red Lion is the boat, I believe.
Red Lion for sure.
I love him. All right, the Chosen One or just some kid?
Just some kid.
Yeah. Save your sister or go back to sleep?
Go back to sleep.
That's right. Screw her. She shouldn't have been up there. Bow or sword?
Sword.
Ooh, that's the wrong decision. It's all about the bow, baby. Isn't this the first one where you could aim down the bow's sights?
I think that was Majora's Mask.
Was that that was an Ocarina as well.
Yeah.
But this is the first one where I liked it, so that's for me. It's the first one. I don't care what anyone says. All right, GameCube or Wii?
GameCube.
Easy, right?
Easy.
All right, and those are my fast ones for Zelda and for Wind Waker, the greatest game ever made.
I like it.
There you go.
Good job.
I have one more game, but I'll let you go on to yours.
Okay, so my last big game, or I guess it's not really my last one. I forgot. I have one more too. So this works out fine.
Oh, this works out perfect.
I might skip that last one though.
Ooh, we'll see.
For a certain reason. I'll get to that later. But my next game is Fallout 3.
Oh, baby. This game features prominently in my teens, but I definitely didn't get to it in my childhood. And I probably shouldn't have gotten to it.
I got to this game on release date, not by my own volition, but because my brother had this really douchey friend that I hated. Ooh. He brought it over, and I kept it. He left, and he forgot about it.
How can you forget Fallout 3?
I don't know, but I just started playing it.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember I was playing in the living room with the lights off.
Ooh,
making
spooky.
that character creator coming out of my mom. And this is another one of those games where I prefer so many other open world RPGs, but this one is just so nostalgic. That first opening where it's doing I don't want to set the world on fire, with the Brotherhood of Steel looking at the Washington Monument.
Yep.
But this is one of those games where it was the first one where I was feeling like I was actually exploring a place in my world, but in a video game.
Like Wind Waker was for me.
Yeah.
Right?
And it's wow, I'm at the Jefferson Memorial.
Mm-hmm.
I'm at the Abraham Lincoln Memorial, The Capitol Wasteland was such a mysterious, ambiguous place that I just wanted to walk every square inch of, going from the vault to Megaton to Tenpenny Tower and going all the way to Rivet City.
I hate Rivet City.
I know, me too. And then going from Rivet City to the Brotherhood of Steel and to the NCR, meeting Three Dog.
Oh yeah, Three Dog.
And listening to that radio throughout the whole game. That radio was so good.
It's iconic. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I am a sucker for New Vegas's radio a bit more, but the radio in 3 is great.
You can't beat Johnny Guitar.
Oh baby. Oh, it's such a good soundtrack, man. Remember just singing it?
Yeah.
Or you'd be in the other room and I'd just start singing Johnny Guitar. And you'd respond.
But man, was this game crazy. And this is probably the game that I've probably spent the most hours in.
Really?
For sure.
I could see that.
Just because of how long it is. And when I play Fallout 3 or any game like this, I'm a completionist, so each playthrough is I'm doing everything I possibly can, getting max level, doing all the DLC, all the side quests.
Yeah.
And this was a special game. And it had a father and son story at the time that just resonated with me. Mm-hmm. Today, I think it's a pretty stupid story.
Yeah.
It's very amateurish, I guess.
I think so, but I think at the time...
It's very simple.
At the time, it was just... I feel like there weren't that many compelling stories in video game narratives.
Especially in an open world like this, because the game that came before this was Oblivion.
Mm-hmm,
and
which I love.
Well, yeah, I love Oblivion too. That's in one of my lists. I remember getting to your dad for the first time, and for some reason that really touched me, I guess. It was oh, I've been looking for my dad this whole time and I finally found him. And I'm I would never do this today, but I ran with him the entire way from Vault 76 or whatever it was, all the way to the Jefferson Memorial. You don't have to do that. You can just fast travel and he'll be there. But for some reason, I just stuck with him because I wanted to protect him.
Aww.
Which is just really weird to say about Liam Neeson.
That's a normal thing to say about Liam.
Does the VO for your dad. But yeah, this game is just iconic. This is the first modern Fallout game.
This game features really prominently for me in my teens.
Yeah.
And I would also say that Fallout 3 and New Vegas, for me...
They go hand in hand.
They go hand in hand. I mean, they were released, I think, less than a year apart.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Ocarina and Majora, where they're using the same engine, same assets, and they just are
Or
developed
Left 4 Dead
quickly.
and Left 4 Dead 2.
Yeah, Left 4 Dead 2, similar. And for me, they're a big connection between me and you in my memory.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sure they'll feature prominently in the teenage video.
I can't wait to do that.
Me either.
Podcast. And this game was just the first open world game that I played where I was thinking like this is an actual living open world, which it really isn't
By today's standards.
But like the choices involved in the game, the karma system was really cool.
A world had never been like that.
Yeah.
There'd never been something.
It wasn't black and white anymore.
Yes. It's a very gray game.
Yeah.
And it's also probably one of my first tastes of like really dark humor.
Yeah.
Which it just wasn't something we'd experienced before in games. It was my first exposure.
It definitely mastered and knocked out of the park that sense of the 50s and the future.
Oh, yeah.
And
which weirdly is a thing.
Yeah.
Now, probably because of this game.
Mm-hmm.
That nostalgic future, almost.
Yeah. Fallout 3 and New Vegas did so well, and then later on Fallout 4 would do it, but they went too far with it to make it just seemed absurd. Like, one of my biggest gripes with Fallout 4 is the Minutemen.
I hate the Minutemen.
Like, why are they dressed like Minutemen? And why are they using, like, musket rifles? When that's obviously the worst thing you could use.
No,
it just
I
gets
agree.
too cartoonish, and it becomes a caricature of itself. But Fallout 3 and New Vegas, they did it in such a way where it seems as if time stopped in 1950.
Yeah.
And just kept going.
And it evolved from there.
And it evolved.
What it reminds me of, like the difference. Okay, so Fallout 3 and New Vegas are to Black Ops Zombies what 4 is to like Black Ops 4 Zombies. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
It took it too far. It's not that like the idea is bad. It's just simply the implementation was a little bit too out there for its own good.
Yeah, I agree.
So I agree with you.
I have some fast ones for you.
Ooh, baby. I'm ready.
A Life in the Capital Wasteland or A Life in the Vault?
Capital Wasteland, you gotta find adventure, baby.
That's right. Brotherhood of Steel or The Enclave?
The Enclave. I hate the Brotherhood of Steel.
Mom or Dad?
Dad. Sorry, Mom.
Liam Neeson, yeah, you're right.
That's right.
You're right.
Sorry, Mom.
Would you rather be torn apart by ghouls or eaten alive by rad roaches?
Oh my gosh. Oh. Rad roaches would take a lot longer. But the ghouls are really spooky. Probably ghouls.
Okay.
I'd go ghouls.
10mm pistol or laser pistol?
10 mil.
Yeah, I agree.
Of course.
It's iconic, man.
That's right. I love the 10 millimeter. Why'd they make it so stupid in Fallout 4?
I don't know.
I hate that pistol.
They made every gun the same gun. Like,
I know.
If you look at the design, every gun can be built off of the 10mm.
Yep.
And it's so stupid.
I don't like that.
I hate it.
Also, why is it the size of, like, my head? It's gigantic. Anyways, excuse me. That's just a personal gripe.
Would you rather live on the Capital Wasteland or New Vegas?
New Vegas.
Okay.
Capital Wasteland would probably be better, honestly, but I just love New Vegas.
Yeah. I hate the sun. I hate the desert.
I hate the sun.
I
like the little geckos, though. Run at
yeah,
you,
the little geckos.
Want to give you a
They're
little
cool,
hug,
man.
and a bite.
Would you rather use a baseball bat for the whole game or the BB gun?
Baseball bat. I don't want to find that BB ammo. That would make me want to die. Even though the break would bat. Or even though the bat would break after like an hour.
I think that's all my fast ones for you. Do you have any fast ones for me for this? Do you have anything to say about Fallout 3?
I have so much to say about Fallout 3.
Because New Vegas comes into play in my teen years.
I could see that. I understand that. I feel like for me, I want to save whatever I have to say about Fallout for next time.
Okay.
Because I would say Fallout is going to feature really prominently in my teenage years. So
I can see that.
We'll save it for next time. We'll keep a little back for you guys.
Yeah. Okay. What's your last game?
My last game is one that was very important to me, but that I think is not actually a good game, but that I loved.
Okay.
And it's The Force Unleashed.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
from 2008. Now, this game was my favorite game of all time for a really, really long time. I love this game. And it's not just the game where it's, the right formula, where it's like angsty guy with a weapon hurts people and is like, is he dark? Is he good? Who knows? Yeah. It was exactly in that niche or in that sweet spot for the time period. And it wasn't just that. It was that for me, I had just started to like Star Wars, and it gave birth to not just a love of games, but to a love of everything Star Wars.
Yeah.
I became like a Star Wars super fan. I would go to the library to get books. I would watch all the movies over and over again. I would like read the comic books. I became a giant Star Wars fan, all because of this game. And this is one of the few games that I replayed over and over. I'm generally not the kind of person that'll replay something or even rewatch something very often.
Yeah.
But with this game, I probably played the entire thing 20 times.
Wow.
I loved this game.
That's a long time.
It is a long time. It's probably like a 6-hour game. It's not super long, but man, I loved it and I played it over and over again. And eventually that love begins to fade in a very painful way, which I'm sure we'll actually have a lot to talk about. I'm sure we'll do an episode on all things Star Wars eventually.
Eventually, yeah.
But I'd like to ask you a couple fast ones about Star Wars.
Please do.
First, what is your favorite Star Wars video game? Or do you even have one?
Yeah, I do. It would have to be between. I think I might have 3.
Ooh, look at you.
Here we go.
A trilogy.
I love The Force Unleashed.
It's a great game.
It is great. And as ridiculous as it is, it's still pretty fun.
I love that game.
Like, I don't think any Jedi can pull down a Star Destroyer.
Star Killer can.
Apparently.
He's only half as strong as Rey is.
So maybe I don't like this game. It was fun at the time. I've gone back to play it as of late, and it does not hold up.
Have you played the Xbox 360 version? Or which version have you gone back to play?
So I've played the Wii, the 360, and the PS3 version.
Because the Wii version is completely different.
I've heard.
It's like a third-person game, and the story is totally different. It's got like 2.5 more hours of story.
They're all third-person.
Yeah, but when I think of the other Force Unleashed games, they're almost like... They remind me of God of War. You know what I mean? Where it's kind of third person, but also it has more fixed camera angles.
Okay,
and it's further away. Whereas on the Wii, it's tighter in.
Really?
Yes, and you control it much more like a... And this is the thing, I'm also speaking through nostalgia goggles, rose-tinted glasses, where I remember it being more like much closer. You were close to the action, and you could choose where you were looking and whatnot, and it also just controlled totally differently. Yeah. It was the only game I've ever played that actually had good motion controls. Like, I mean, you still would just wag the wand. You just wagged your Wiimote. Yeah, sure. But, like, the Force worked differently. It was a very different game. So, but do you remember that? Do you remember playing the Wii version and it being like a completely different product?
I don't remember the camera being different, but that's probably just because that's the one I played the least for sure, though. I played it mostly on 360, and then I recently booted up the PS3 version, and it did not hold up.
No, visually, especially not visually. It's quite ugly now. Dog doo-doo. Sorry.
But I played that game, but the two that stick out the most to me is Lego Star Wars.
Oh, yeah.
And Star Wars Battlefront 2 on the PS2. Yes. Those games are awesome.
They're great. I almost forgot the Lego Star Wars games. Oh, yeah. I loved those games. And Battlefront 2, of course.
I love playing as an Ewok on Endor.
Oh, yeah, baby. Have you played as an Ewok in the new Battlefront?
No.
New as in 4 years old?
No, I haven't.
It's really bad. Well, it looked bad. My brother-in-law loves Battlefront 2, and he plays it all the time. And I always make him play the Ewok because he hates it.
Do you still just throw sticks and rocks?
You have a bow and arrow.
Oh, okay.
But he's awful with a bow. I don't think Wyatt's going to listen to this, so it's okay.
That's okay.
But but it's really funny. Anyways, but yeah, the Ewoks, good times. Now I want you to tell me what my favorite Star Wars movie is. Now, we've talked about this a lot, but I think we haven't talked about it in like 4 years.
Okay.
Like we talked about it a while ago.
So favorite Star Wars movie.
Yes, guess what my favorite would be, and I'll guess what your favorite would be. Ooh, because we're both a little.
You seem like
contrarian.
a Last Jedi guy.
Really?
Or A New Hope.
I've never been spoken down to like this before. I am a Last Jedi defender, but the defense crumbled as of whatever day Rise of Skywalker came out. We'll talk about that later. But
okay.
what would your final guess be?
I don't want to say because my final guess would be my favorite one.
Oh, no. Ooh. All right, let's say it at the same time.
Okay.
Oh, I don't know. Okay, I'm guessing for you. You're guessing for me. Okay.
Wait, what?
I'm guessing for you what your favorite one is, and you're guessing for what my favorite one is.
But I'm just telling you what my favorite one is.
Yes, essentially.
Okay.
All right. 3, 2, 1. A New Hope. Interesting.
Okay.
Oh, I thought you'd be a little contrarian. You know what I mean?
Rogue One's my favorite.
Rogue One's good. I like Rogue One. I think I don't think it's bad. I like it a lot. My favorite though, it's not my favorite though. I think my favorite
Episode 3.
Yes. No. I think my favorite's probably A New Hope.
Okay.
But it changes every day.
So is it like it changes one of the 3 trilogies? Or one of the original 3?
Yes. Because everyone loves Empire, right? I personally don't like it nearly as much as everyone else does.
Mm-hmm.
But I love Return. I do love Return of the Jedi. But I really love A New Hope. And I really like Rogue One.
I just realized I did say Last Jedi. I did not mean Last Jedi. I did mean Return of the Jedi.
Do you understand what I mean now?
Yes. I'm sorry.
I was like, dang, dude.
I meant Return of the Jedi, not Last Jedi.
That makes so much more sense.
Because when I was thinking Last Jedi, or...
Were you confused then when I said what I said?
Well, because they're all like named the same.
They're very similar names. Lucas and Disney. You idiots.
I meant Return of the Jedi.
That makes a lot more sense.
Yes. No, I would never ever guess that your favorite's The Last Jedi, which is the worst one.
I'm going to guess your favorite food. Is it dog crap? No, Last Jedi. We could do an entire episode where I just complain about Star Wars. And we probably will. It's inevitable. But moving on to a couple fast ones. For Star Wars, tell me, lightsaber or the Force?
I think lightsabers are just cooler.
I love lightsabers.
Yeah.
But you're wrong. It's the Force.
I mean,
Force lightning or Force push?
Force push.
That's right. Dark or light?
Light.
Who can actually say dark?
I don't know.
Right? You can't. Who would actually, unless you're like a sadist, like you got to go light. You got to be a Jedi. Yeah. All right. Prequels or sequels? And just to clarify, prequels are, that's in the name. Sequels meaning the Disney movies.
Prequels by 1,000 miles.
I would agree with that. I think people, I don't know if it's just my personal injuries being more recent and having grown up with the prequels, but I vastly prefer the prequels to the sequels.
Yeah.
All right. Vader or Sidious?
Vader.
Obviously.
All
right. Now I want you to do a couple word association.
I want to give you a fast one.
Ooh, hello. Let me.
Vader or Maul?
Oh, Vader.
Vader or Boba Fett?
Vader. I have a soft spot for Vader.
Yeah, me too.
Simply because I read a lot of the comics for Vader, and so I love those.
Where does
comics.
Grievous fall under?
Oh,
the wastebasket.
It's somewhere in there. I like his I love his design.
Yeah, I think his design is amazing.
I think people are hard on him because they think like the multiple lightsabers are dumb, but I think they're dope. So
it makes sense. He kills Jedi and then uses their lightsabers,
right? And like, I agree with you. I think it's cool. I'm not
I think his voice is just stupid.
Can you do his voice?
No,
because I couldn't. I'm not even gonna try. I'm not gonna do that to you guys.
It's like someone getting kicked in the throat talking through a soda can.
Just activate your asthma. No, I couldn't do it. But that's a good question. Was that Grievous or Grievous? Essentially, was the fast one.
Yeah. I don't know. Where would you rank those villains? Like Vader, Sidious, Maul, Dooku.
Christopher Lee as separate from Dooku. No. Vader top just because he's awesome. Then Sidious, because I mean Sidious is a great villain. He really is. Especially, I've read one of his books.
Yeah.
One of the books about him coming into power, so I like Sidious as well. For me, but after Vader, between Vader and Thrawn, for me would be, or not, Vader and Sidious for me would be Thrawn.
Okay.
Who I love. I've read the Timothy Zahn trilogy about Zahn.
Oh, yeah.
Gosh darn it, I can't speak.
Zahn.
The Timothy Zahn trilogy about Thrawn. And it's super good. So Thrawn is probably my second favorite Star Wars villain. Then Sidious. Then Maul, I suppose.
Okay.
Dooku. Not Dooku. Which I forgot until this moment.
Is it Dooku?
I think it's Dooku.
Dooku. Isn't that from Zelda?
Doku Panic. Or Doki Doki. We need to get these words out of here. It's Dooku, I swear. Okay. I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Dooku with his stupid lightsaber. And then after him would be Grievous. Or Grievous would be before Dooku. Why did the second movie even happen?
I don't know.
It's very bad. Anyway,
it's really bad.
That would be my ranking. What would yours be for the villains? I feel like it's...
I mean, Vader has to be on top, but then Maul is below him.
Interesting.
Because Maul was...
You're a big Maul fan.
Maul was Vader before Vader. Like, he was Sidious's apprentice.
I guess that's true.
And then he just got killed by Kenobi.
Oh, yeah. Ewan McGregor, baby.
McGregor. I wish Maul never died in the movies. I wish he was more important.
Yeah, he shouldn't have been such a throwaway.
Yeah.
I think they could have managed that a little bit
Because if they
better.
just, like, got rid of Dooku altogether. Grievous is kind of cool. But I think if Maul was just in all the trilogy, in all the prequels, it would have made more sense emotionally for Kenobi.
Yeah, I would have actually given him a reason
to go after this guy, yeah.
Yeah.
But
we can dedicate an entire episode to like each movie. So,
but Vader's the best.
Vader's awesome. Vader's the top dog.
One of my favorite pictures for Star Wars is from actually the first movie with little Annie.
Oh,
but
yeah.
His shadow is Darth Vader.
I think that's great.
Because everyone thinks like the Phantom Menace is Maul, but the Phantom Menace is actually Anakin.
Ooh.
You know?
Here we go. I like that. I didn't even think about that. I think you're right. Like I said, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. So.
Changed my life.
It actually makes, the prequels are pretty cool.
I think they're cool if you don't, like, go too close.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You have to squint your eyes at them.
They're like a diorama that you made in elementary school. Like, they're cool if you're 5 feet away, but the second you get close, things really start to show the cracks and fall apart.
You have any more fast ones for me?
I do.
Oh, you have the word association.
Exactly. I got word association for you.
What are we calling those?
We don't know. Think quick. 4. I like think quick, at least for now.
Yeah.
Quick thinkers. Said it really distinctly that time. Think quick. I like that. All right. Okay. All right. You ready to think quick, Chris?
Sure.
All right. Phantom.
Is that the first one?
That's the first one.
Oh, Menace.
You gotta think quicker, Chris. Attack of the Clones.
Bad.
Revenge of the Sith.
Okay.
New Hope. Empire.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jedi.
It's okay.
Force Awakens.
Generic, bland.
The Last Jedi.
Really bad.
The Rise of Skywalker.
Wait. I'll change that. Leia flying.
Flying Leia. The Rise of Skywalker.
Never seen it.
You shouldn't. That's my word for it.
Don't.
Stop it. Yeah, and we could easily go on for these for hours, but we won't.
Yeah.
It's okay. We can close out with our last couple fast ones. Is there anything you'd like to say in summary of your childhood games?
I would like to give some more honorable mentions for the games or the consoles that we've just talked about.
I love that. Let's go.
This is from starting with PlayStation 2.
Mm-hmm.
Because in all of these games, I did not play them yet on PS3. Because I didn't own a PS3 until 2012.
Wow, yeah.
So, I
That's like
mean,
your
if you
teens.
look at the consoles that I've played up until age 12, it's the Xbox 360. I have the PS2, and then GameCube, Dreamcast, Nintendo 64, and the Wii.
Yeah.
So start with the PS2, and the first one comes up is Dragon Ball Z Budokai 2. The best game I ever played on PS2. Because after that is Dokkan Kingdom, like I said.
Uh-huh.
And then Dark Cloud.
Oh.
Which is by the same people who made Ni no Kuni.
Ni no Kuni.
Dark Cloud, I never beat it. I remember just playing through the first area. It just has a nostalgic soundtrack that I can think of fondly on.
Mm-hmm.
But getting into the 360, we have Halo 3.
Oh, yeah. That was a big one, too, for me.
I remember playing that on launch when Austin got it. And that, I mean, we never stopped playing Halo 3.
You and I played Halo 3 together.
A lot, yeah.
And it was like years after its release.
Mm-hmm.
Halo 3 is a great game.
Oblivion.
Love it.
Great game.
Mm-hmm.
Gears 1 through 2.
Yeah.
Like,
I agree with that.
Such great co-op games.
They were awesome. I think they were some of the first co-op games I played.
Mm-hmm. Dead Space 1, which will become more important to me in my teen years than it was in my early years because of Resident Evil 4.
Yeah.
Medal of Honor Airborne.
Oh, I remember you telling me about this
I
game.
still think is probably the most authentic World War II shooter I've played.
Really? Wow.
Or it was just
no, but you said that before.
It was the neatest one for sure. Because the more you used your guns, the more attachments you earned for them in the campaign.
Oh, that's cool.
It was really cool. And just the idea of the beginning of every mission, you drop out of a plane and you can land wherever you want.
Oh, so
and
you can take it on how you want to.
Yeah, you have these like 5 objectives and you can go about them however you want. It was the coolest thing. And it had just very neat missions because the whole Airborne campaign is going up from Sicily up into Germany.
Oh, okay.
So just these neat locales that you don't see in modern shooters, you know?
No, it seems like it was really before its time.
Absolutely. And they, for some reason, never did anything else with it, which I think is a common trend in Medal of Honor games.
That's very true. I wish they'd do a remake. I'd love
right? That would
something
be awesome.
like that, especially if you could make it like a co-op thing.
That'd be so good. Left 4 Dead 1 and 2.
Yeah. For me, that's a big thing with you.
Yeah, I mean, we
have
always play that. Like, I can't... Left 4 Dead 2 in specifically.
Yeah,
I mean,
more so than 1.
It has Left 4 Dead 1 in it, but
Left 4 Dead 2 is essentially a glorified expansion pack for 1.
Exactly. I actually feel it's the reverse, where Left 4 Dead 2 came out and made 1 the expansion.
That's true. That's true. That's true.
But like,
1's just the demo for 2.
Exactly. It was just it was one of those games where it was a defining moment in that time of 2008 and 2009, where that green, like when you see the color green, you think of Left 4 Dead 2.
Oh yeah.
You know, or Left 4 Dead.
The iconic fingers.
Yeah,
right?
I mean,
oh man,
everything about those games were just fun. Like, I can't think of a time where it wouldn't be fun to just jump into it and play those games.
It's still a good game. I wish that it was available on like PS4.
Mm-hmm.
Valve.
Another game that I played, which I liked but I didn't like. It was one of those games where like you played it just because you had it. It was Fable 2.
I don't like Fable.
I don't like Fable at all.
I understand exactly what you're saying, though. There were definitely games I played simply because I had the games.
Yeah, you don't like playing them, but you got nothing else to do.
So it's like, I guess I'm playing Fable.
And Fable, I heard Fable 2 is the best one, and that's really sad.
It only goes down from here, folks.
That's all I can say. I wasn't into the Cockney, just like weird British fantasy toonland.
It's this weird satire.
Yeah.
It's
where all the women are whores and and all the guys are thugs. I don't know. It wasn't good.
Not a fan. I was not a fan of Fable.
And then like a really low key title was Condemned to Bloodshot.
Oh man, yeah, I remember Condemned Criminal Origins as well.
Yeah. These games were so ahead of their time.
And I don't think they're remembered very fondly,
No.
weirdly enough.
Like, so you're a detective who's also a drunk in these games.
As one is.
And it's, for the most part, just a shooter with horror elements.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also a detective game where you have these little segments where you have to do the forensics for murder scenes. And it was like blending, it was blending like Left 4 Dead or The Darkness with Arkham Asylum.
Yeah, it was kind of genre defying.
Yeah.
And I don't think a lot of people
It was one of those games
it.
where it was like, it had no HUD really. It felt really immersive.
Yes.
It had no reticle. It just felt very visceral, very open-ended and on how you can do things and what you can use at your disposal. Like, you can pick up bricks off the ground, take lead pipes off the wall, and then you just had your normal weaponry. But that was a cool game, a very interesting game. It reminds me of Fear.
Yeah.
It's like Fear with Arkham elements.
And with melee combat.
Yeah, with melee combat involved. It was just a cool game.
I suppose Fear is melee, but not the same. Yeah, no, I agree with you. I think it was ahead of its time. And I'm not going to pretend I actually played these games. I was too scared. But I've read a lot about them, so I agree with you.
And the last game, which I would have done an actual segment on, like to actually talk about it, but it didn't hit me until I was a little older to understand it. And it was BioShock 1. Which is now one of my favorite games.
Interessante.
And back then, it was more of a survival horror game to me, and I loved it for it. Now, as I'm older, or just a few years later, when I play it again on PS3, and then again on PS4, did I finally understand it with its heavy themes of capitalism, socialism, and being what's the word I'm thinking of? Libertarian.
Yeah.
Has a lot of Ayn Rand is a huge foundation, I guess, or inspiration for this game.
It's a lot of important political themes.
Yeah, and it was a very important and defining moment for video games to blend gameplay with storytelling and to have really mature themes that games wouldn't usually have. Almost like to the same extent that Hideo Kojima puts into Metal Gear.
Yeah, I would
These
say
heavy themes that are just usually aren't in video games. They're usually left in books and novels and movies.
And they first start being seen in video games. Yeah, I totally agree with that. Mature themes that aren't mature simply because they're not for children, but mature themes because it takes a mature person to understand
intellectual them. To understand them.
Right, yeah. And I think that's important.
As a 12 or 11-year-old playing this game. I think I played it even earlier. I think I played it on the 360 when it first came out, when on the box it would say only available on the Xbox.
Yeah. I remember that.
Which is really cool.
That was like 2007, right? It was long.
It was something like that. It was a long time ago. But I will save that probably for my teen.
I think that'd be a good idea.
But that is it for me.
Do you have any fast ones for me to close us out of this entire thing?
I do.
Are yours a little bit more like this or that?
Yes, they are.
Cool, that's perfect. I have some quick thinkers. Think quicks.
I like those.
All right, I'll do those after you do your fast ones. Ooh.
GameCube or PlayStation 2?
GameCube.
Okay, I knew you were going to say that. GameCube or Dreamcast?
GameCube.
GameCube or Wii?
Wii, because it is a GameCube.
Okay. Memory card or Rumble Pack?
Oh, I don't think I ever used or experienced either.
What was your favorite memory card? GameCube or PS2?
GameCube.
I agree. I had an orange one with a shark on it.
That's dope.
And it was like 8 gigabytes. And it was super long. What was your favorite controller?
Of these older consoles?
So, like from Let's say Nintendo 64 to 360.
I
Things
liked
there.
the 360 controller,
Mm-hmm.
but I also really liked the GameCube.
Mm-hmm.
For me, it'd probably be a close battle between them with 360 on top.
I think I agree with you. The 360 controller was just really nice.
It really was good in your hands, and
there's something odd that I like. I like to smell my controllers. And I didn't know this until I was playing the 360 and playing Fallout 3.
Oh no.
When I smell a controller, I think of Fallout 3.
What's wrong with you?
Everything. Left 4 Dead 1 or 2?
2.
That's what I thought. Resident Evil 4 or Dead Space?
Dead Space.
Fallout 3?
I take that back. Resident Evil 4.
Okay.
I don't need to explain myself. Resident Evil 4.
Fallout 3 or Oblivion?
Oblivion.
Okay.
Because New Vegas, to me, is just...
See, I was
going
to say Fallout 3 or New Vegas, but I was saving New Vegas for later.
Ooh.
So Oblivion, okay.
I would say Oblivion.
Okay.
Okay.
Wiimote or literally anything else?
Literally anything else. I would order 2 nunchucks, please.
Would you rather live in the Rapture or the USG Ishimura?
Oh man, the Rapture easily.
It's not really called the Rapture.
But,
I just realized.
But what's it called? Rapture.
Yeah, Rapture.
Rapture. Splicers are scary, but necromorphs?
Yeah.
I would rather die.
Okay, without those things.
Just empty spaces?
No, just would you rather live in a city underwater or the USG Ishimura?
Or an engineering mining ship?
Yeah. Or which one do you think is cooler?
Oh, Rapture.
Rapture?
Rapture's awesome. I love the 50s kind of atmosphere. It's also very nice there if there's no splicers.
Mm-hmm.
I think Rapture could be a pretty cool place to live.
Yeah.
And the Ishimura would just be hell.
Have you played BioShock?
I've played...
Most of it?
Like half of it. I've gotten halfway through and it's one of those games that's been so spoiled for me that I'm not extremely keen on going back to it.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. But I probably should.
Electrobolt or Incinerate?
Electrobolt. Because of the tutorial. I thought it was super cool that you could shock
the
the
1-2
water.
punch.
Yeah.
The wrench or any of the other weapons?
Oh man. The wrench.
Yeah,
it's
I think you have to go with the wrench. That's a pretty easy one. Andrew Ryan or Fontaine?
Andrew Ryan is the one you kill with the club.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes.
He's nicer. No,
he is nicer.
Not a great guy, but he's definitely better than Fontaine.
Mm-hmm.
Fontaine's he's a bad dude.
Yes, he is.
He's roiding up. That's not fair.
It's not
fair at all. And at least, you can have a fun golf game with Andrew Ryan.
I think the trophy was called 9 Iron or Irony or something like that.
Ooh, Irony. That's pretty good.
I think that was it. I could be thinking of the...
Well, if you came up with that, you should read the trophies.
You're right. I think that trophy also could have been when you take a picture of...
his dead body with the 9 iron sticking out. Or I guess it's a putter, really.
I forgot which one it was. Big Daddy or Little Sister?
Big Daddy.
I agree.
Because I'm a big daddy.
Yes, you are. Marcus Phoenix or Dom?
Oh, Dom? Question mark. It's been a long time since I played Gears.
Yeah. Marcus or Master Chief?
Master Chief.
Really?
Yeah, I had some really good experiences with Halo when I was younger.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely Master Chief.
Grunts or the Flood?
I like the grunts. I relate to them. If I was in a war, I would be like the grunts.
Yeah.
I would panic and throw a grenade on myself. So probably the grunts.
Laser sword or gravity hammer?
Oh man, that's a hard one. Got to go with gravity sword. I mean gravity. That's both at the same time. Gravity hammer.
Yeah. Sonic or Shadow?
Sonic.
Okay.
I feel like I missed Shadow. Granted, I missed both of them. The problem with Shadow is he wasn't in Sonic and the Black Knight.
You're right. He wasn't.
It's his main character flaw.
You don't know the pistols really in Resident Evil 4, do you?
I know Matilda.
Matilda. Do you know Red 9?
No.
Red 9 was the Mauser C96.
Oh, that doesn't help me.
Okay.
I only know Matilda.
Okay. So we'll go Matilda then. Matilda or Plasma Cutter?
Matilda. Oh, wait, Plasma Cutter. I thought you were gonna say some random gun from Resident Evil 4.
No.
Plasma Cutter. The Plasma Cutter is so... I mean, how ingenious was it to make that a weapon? Plasma Cutter.
Yeah. It was ingenious. That's all the fast ones I got for you, my friend.
Okay, well, I've got some...
Give me your quick thinkers.
Think quick. 4. Let me open up my phone. All right, here we go.
Okay, give them to me.
Tell me the word that comes to your mind when I say PlayStation 2.
Fun.
I was going to say never played.
Okay.
Because I got to remember, I'm saying mine as well. Okay.
Yes.
GameCube.
Small.
Wind Waker. And, as an amendment, handle.
Handle. Oh.
Because I had the word handle.
Yeah, you're right.
What a weird design decision.
It was weird, but I used it.
It's pretty cool. You can tote it around.
You can swing it at people.
That's what I did. All right, Xbox.
Oh, you just skipped Wind Waker.
What?
I didn't even answer for Wind Waker.
Oh, I didn't know that was one. I think that was my original answer.
Oh, you said GameCube. Okay.
All right, but here we go. Wind Waker.
Cartoon.
Wind. It's kind of cheating. I just used the name.
Yeah.
All right, Xbox.
The original Xbox? Green.
Ooh, I was going to say green.
Hey.
Xbox 360.
White.
Red Ring of Death.
Oh, jeez.
PlayStation 3.
Slim.
Fat. Pokemon.
Go.
Red. Gushers.
Squishy.
Rich. I don't know why. I felt like only the rich kids had Gushers. My parents didn't let me have anything I wanted. They made me eat fruit. Childhood.
Friends.
Fat. Because I was a fat kid. Twinkie.
Fat.
Coveted. I could never have it. Pop-Tart.
Gross.
Off-brand. We were only allowed to have off-brand Pop-Tarts. 3D graphics.
So at first I thought 3D glasses. So I was going to say boring.
Dang.
But 3D graphics. Normal.
Wow. That's my word for it.
No.
I was blown away by them. N64.
Cool.
Weird appendage.
Because
it's got the weird...
third leg.
That's what you could call it. Mario.
Double Dash.
Luigi. I thought you liked Luigi. Who are you?
Mansion. Oh, you're saying... Oh.
It's like that's supposed to be your answer, you crazy person. All right, but let's do Luigi. Luigi.
Mansion.
Green. Come on. Game Boy.
Advanced.
I didn't think anything until you said advanced, so I guess that's my answer. Advanced. Screen Peek.
Cheater.
Dirty. Nintendo DS.
Who cares?
Nintendogs.
Ugh.
GameStop was the last one. Think hard. But fast, because it's a quick think.
Thieves.
Thieves. Thieves. That's the perfect answer. It's thieves. They just stole from my little tiny wallet.
Yep.
I'd buy games for 25 cents. Or I'd sell them games for 25 cents.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we have our receipt of when we sold all of our games.
Oh, yeah.
And some of them are like for 5 or 16 cents. So
that'll be a story in itself. What a good time to have. Well, Chris, those are all my quote unquote think quicks. So thank you so much.
Name pending.
Name pending. No, that's what we're going with. It's fantastic. But thank you guys so much for listening. It's been awesome going back through our childhood memories of games and looking back at the things we didn't miss this time.
Hey.
But thank you guys so much for joining us. And I'm excited to make more of these.
Yeah, me too.
Bye.
Bye.
We'll have a stinger later.
Yeah.